Okay, folks, it's a
Howdy.
whole new year.
'Tis true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're ready for 2017 to be. Bye. Rearview mirror.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't write.
Yeah, so right if you don't find work.
Yes.
So, that's Baron. I'm not.
That's care to win?
And he's not.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't practice this or anything.
No, we didn't.
No.
Nah.
Okay,
All spontaneous.
20! Alrighty. So, first show of the new year. And the very first thing I want to say to you guys is thank you. You guys rocked. Just before Christmas, there was a show that Baron did, thank you drawings of drawings for, with donations going to Second Harvest Food Bank. Turns out they had a 2-for-1 donor sitting out there.
Yep.
So your dollars turned into $1,600 in benefits, which Second Harvest is able to do really good, high-quality meals for about 50 cents a piece because of the deals they've made.
Yep.
You folks fed 3,000
folks.
3,000 people. You did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So well done.
Okay, Caswell is noting one thing here, that the BaronEngel caption is covering the chat box.
Is a phone sitting near your interface, or well, actually, there's this thing right here. Let me guess. Bluetooth, click, click, click. Okay.
Right.
Let me turn off Bluetooth right here. Bluetooth, go away. Bluetooth, go away. And I say this. You get to watch me play with my phone.
Yes.
And I say Bluetooth off.
Exciting.
Yeah, there we go. Whee!
Okay. I've already just set my phone off and everything.
Everyone sounds muffled. That is probably a good thing. Okay,
Yes.
fine. There, now you get to suffer more with me.
Yep. But yeah, you guys were great. You know, that was $1,600. Like I said, it was 3,000 meals for folks. And this time of year, that's a big thing. So, thanks.
All right, there we go. Okay, there you get to.
Okay.
All right, so now you get to suffer for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so first things first. Even though it's actually not that cold outside, we still need something to warm the brain.
Yeah, keep the ears from crunching up.
Yeah, exactly. Baron and his brain lubricant.
Yes, all important brain lubricant.
Oh, by the way, if anybody here is first timer, say hi. We will say hi right back at you. I think it's Skoshi 32015. Are you new here?
Yeah,
If like you're suffering, okay, there you go. If you're new, if you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yeah. Okay. Just say hi.
Yeah, just say hi. I mean, I know there's some folks I think who are haven't been here for a while, and welcome back. Glad you could join us tonight. We're looking at a pretty good turnout so far for the start of the. Usually picks up a little more as the evening goes on. So.
All righty.
Yep.
Oh, I suffer, he says. Think you have unclean power or massive amounts of gain. Okay, let's see.
Okay, we're going to take Larsus's input here very, very seriously because, well, Larsus
he knows what the hell he's
about.
doing, yeah.
Yeah, see, we're amateurs, he's a pro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, his undershirt is more saturated.
Yeah.
There we go. It's also a possibility that this is just like, going rub, rub, rub. There we go.
Yes.
Try that.
Let's see if that sounds better.
The answer is friction. Yeah, okay. so let me know if we're going to get any more.
Yeah.
Any more noise there.
Because we're always trying to make the show better.
The answer is friction. It always is friction. But actually tonight the answer is Brandy Alexander.
Well.
Sort of.
Glad you could join us, Koshi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just so you know then, the first thing we always do is we start Baron off with some brain lubricant and cocktail of the week, as it were, and we're going to do that right now. And tonight we're doing a sort of variant on the Brandy Alexander. Your normal Brandy Alexander is brandy, cream, and creme de coco, and sometimes a raw egg white. Again, uncooked eggs can cause you blah, blah, blah. We're going to do raw egg white.
Yeah.
We're tough here.
Yeah. So, a lot of how you handle the egg white and everything like that.
All right. So, there. Okay.
Yeah, hey, well, I hope you can stay warm, Mithril.
All right, so first thing, let's get some ice into this beef.
Yeah. Oh, and I do need to dispel one possible myth because someone has asked me, I have brain lubricant here during the stream and everything, and some people have said, Baron, you spend like 8+ hours a day in the studio. You don't spend 8+ hours a day drinking, do you? And the answer is no. No,
12.
I don't.
No, okay.
no, I don't. But it does make it a little bit easier for me to be able to, chit chat with you guys and draw at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then the ideas, they flow like the spice. The spice must flow. So we've got a shot of. Normally I'd use cream de cocoa, but I don't have any of that tonight. I do have Dorta, which is a good chocolate liqueur. That'll do just fine. And a good couple of shots of brandy. Doesn't have to be the best brandy in the world. But,
okay. Yeah. It's definitely a 60 hertz click of some kind. Not hard to fix in pre-show. Very hard to fix during. I'll try to ignore it. My headphones are being overly sensitive.
Okay, well, let me see if I can do something about that. And it may be the EQ loop. Let's try removing the EQ loop.
Absolutely right, Mad Badger. Smudge she'd have nothing to do with me if I drank that much all day. Besides, to be quite honest, I'd be broke.
There we go, and there we go. Tell me if that, see if that helped a little bit. I took I took an effects loop out of it.
Yeah, let's know if that improves anything, Larsis.
Okay, and then where'd the cream go? There's the cream.
Hey, Hal.
Canadian carb on 7-Up with
Red Wolf, yeah.
There we go. Got some whipping cream. Oh, yeah, baby. And then we have to do the egg part. Let's see if we can do this without making a huge mess. Le ouf. Okay. And I'm going to say, let's put it right there.
We're going to separate it.
Yep. So you do that.
Thing for putting the yolk into?
That's what the second half of the container down there is. There we go. There we go here. There we go. Baron's gonna drink this.
Yep. It's good for you.
That's not the end of an egg. That's the beginning of a chicken. There we go. Whee!
Don't try this at home, kids. He's a professional. Really. I shouldn't say that. Johnny will take exception.
Yeah.
Oh, Monkey, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, the only thing I can say is try to go back and forth between HTML5 and Flash if they still offer it. There you go.
Don't know if I got your note or not, Red Wolf. Might want to resend it, just be certain.
There. And of course,
the final touch.
Make sure this isn't going to tip over because that would be a mess.
Yes, it would.
The hyper expensive but really, really tasty maraschino cherries from, from Croatia, the Moravska region.
Yes, I do, Rebel. I haven't sent your package out yet, but when you'll get an email from USPS, which will say this is your tracking number, so you can keep tabs on the actual package.
There we go.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So now that Baron's brain is lubricated.
Yep.
And we'll see. I will take a look and see if we can figure out what's going on with the sound a little bit later.
Yeah.
Sound is hard. Video is easy.
And I've noticed watching a lot of other people's streams, audio is the thing that most people struggle with.
Yeah. All righty. You came here to see art.
Not watch me drink.
Yeah, exactly. So let's show you guys some art. How about some art like that right there?
Yeah. Well, this was part of a 3-character commission that I did for someone, and I think you guys saw the art too on the last stream. This was one I didn't get done before Christmas, and it's Sweetie Belle as a little Christmas elf.
And you've got quite a few, so we're going to be moving through them fairly quickly because Baron's been busy.
Yep.
Okay, and again, we have a little bit more bunnies stuff. What is it with you and bunnies?
Well, I think bunnies because people seem to like ponies and bunnies. So
yeah, well, there you go. It's all Angel's fault.
Yep.
So this is our little Dashie.
Rainbow Dash.
And let's see what else we got. Oh, we're still Christmas themed.
Yeah, this was one I did on the last stream, but I can scan it at home and everything. You can get a better idea of what I was working on. That was the Rosemary piece that I did the first hour.
Very nice. And was this also from last stream?
Nope, that was actually a commission. That was Webster.
Webster
commissioned that one for me. That's a character of his named Dusty.
No relation.
No relation to Dusty Cat downstairs.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. I'm saving, as you can tell, I'm saving the good stuff for last.
Right.
Yeah. We also have something that was also
and this was Webster actually won this one on the drawing last time, and that's of course Mare, cutting the rug out on the club floor.
yeah. Let's say that, again, old guys used to and old gals used to be young ourselves.
Yep.
And we used to be naughty.
Yes.
For those who aren't familiar with the story of the Krampus, Krampus is the evil or the punishing aspect of the Saint Nicholas original mythology. Saint Nicholas gave good things to good children. Krampus gave bad things to bad children.
Yeah, you see little remnants in the songs. He knows when you've been good. He knows when you've been naughty. He knows when you've been nice. Well, he passed all the naughty along to the Krampus.
Right. So there used to be this thing where naughty children would be chased around by people dressed up in as they dressed up in evil-looking costumes, with, and getting their backsides whooped around the town. Like, you were naughty last year. Well, things have changed a little bit. There's not no whooping going on.
The only thing I did do is I didn't put the horns on her because she was already going to be fairly complicated.
Yeah. Of course, there's also this was just odd. This is
Sura.
Yeah, this is Sura. This is your fault. This is the love child of Twilight and Tyrek. Oh boy. Twirek. Yeah. You guys have some very fertile imaginations. Okay, let's see. We also...
Wait, what the?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So let's see. Going in the other direction here, we also have Photo Finish and Zesty Gourmand in a little bit of afternoon recreation.
Yeah, well, this is basically an art trade I did with Must Love Frogs. And she did patina and carousel, up modeling lingerie, and she wanted my take on Photo Finish and Zesty Gourmand as late 1960s, 1970s Cold War spy adventure type characters.
James Pone.
Exactly.
All right. So who else we got? Okay. Well, this is actually was another commission, but it's half somebody else's character and half your own.
Yeah, that's a Rebel Squirrels, Diana. And then the buck is my character, Cedric, from your ongoing campaign. Haven't killed him yet.
I'm doing my best. I had you down to 2 hit points.
Yes, you did. But not 0 or negative.
Yeah, working on it. Yeah. So the question is he thinking shop or not? My odds are no.
He's only 16 years old.
Yeah, he can't help it. Yeah. And let's see. We also have a certain Wonderbolt.
Yep, that was my first piece of New Year. Was
even though it says 17, it's still Checkuary.
Oh,
it's Checkuary.
Oh, Poe. Yeah. That was that was actually a result of Dusty making a comment about needing a redesign on Spitfire's uniform.
Okay, oh yeah, it's the Uhura look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now, this is a little bit... I got a little bit of backstory on this, but...
Yeah, that's from my Questra Dreamscape, of which there'll be some new stuff coming up next week for you guys who aren't my patrons already on Patreon. And that is Marble Vein. She's a very...
eccentric.
Yes.
That would be a good one.
And she was basically deciding whether or not she wanted to buy a particular large chunk of high-quality marble.
Talk about getting your rocks off.
Yep.
Moving right along.
And you guys might remember that I did on the stream here, actually, a couple months ago, a picture of Octavia in a bunny suit. And then I did another picture of Octavia in a bunny suit with a vinyl plushie. And that's vinyl with an Octavia plushie now.
Again, we're completing the circle.
That's right.
Okay, and now in order of diminishing clothing.
This was actually a patron reward for Sura, and this was a gift for, these are 2 people's characters. One of them is on DA, and the other one has a not safe for work tumbler.
Oh yeah, I did research. yeah, very cute.
Yes.
And well, let's see. I think that only leaves the ones. Well, actually, 2 things.
2.
Okay, let's see. There's Scoots.
Yeah, now some of you folks, may have seen this week on DeviantArt. I did have a situation where I put some stuff up and it got pulled. Hey.
They had rule number 248. Yeah.
So it got pulled. So I put it over on Patreon, and well, that's where the other two pieces in that series, and this is one of them right here, are going to live.
And the other one that probably got everybody's attention, file into the category of oh my. Sweetie Belle, you have grown up, haven't you?
Yeah. And the last one I need to do now is to get
Apple
Bloom.
Apple Bloom, the drummer.
Yep.
Of course, a drum kit provides plenty of cover.
Right. Well, I've got some other possible poses, and I may be working back and forth with the buyer of that.
Yeah.
Happens to be in the chat. I'm looking at you.
Whoop, there we go. All righty. So we're done with that, so I can put that. Whoop, not that one.
Red Hot Chili
that
Crusaders.
We'll get that in a second. One of these. Hey, there, that one.
Hey,
yeah,
perfect.
There we go. All right, so that's old art. Old stale art.
Yeah.
We need fresh, crispy art.
That's right.
Yeah, that went quick.
What?
Yeah, what? So, what are we doing tonight?
Well, we're going to start the new year off by doing patron rewards for folks on Patreon. Okay, time to do my quick little pitch here. I do this for a living. If you're new to the stream or anything like that, I don't have a day job. I don't go to an office or something like that. My office is at the end of my hallway. When I get up in the morning, I go down and I do art. And one of the things that's been amazingly helpful in making that happen has been my patrons on Patreon. So one of the things I have is I have a $50 category. And for the $50 category, once a month, you can get a black and white drawing from me. Or if you want to save up your months, like this gentleman here has done on a couple occasions, you can get a bigger piece. Suro, for that one piece I did for him, he saved up 2 months for that. And so tonight I'm going to be working on getting some folks' patron rewards done.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and get set up here on the drawing camera.
And I will switch glasses. Ha ha, can't yell at me.
Just so folks know, you have, if you see that Baron has not changed his glasses to basically his reading and drawing glasses, you get to nag him.
Yep.
You get to be epic in your nag.
Yep, exactly.
And we get to point and go, ha ha, that's a full Nelson.
So, the first one I'm going to do, oh, by the way, just so folks know, $50 isn't the only category I have on Patreon.
Starts at $1.
Starts at $1, and $1 a month makes a difference. It all adds up. So, as people can see that I've disturbed my phone. So the first person I'm going to be doing something for is actually a new patron of mine. I don't know if you're under a different name or you're just not in the chat, but if White Scar, if you're there, I'm going to be doing your piece.
Yep.
First.
Okay, do not see anyone calling themselves White Scar.
If you go by another name in our chat, please let us know. 34 seconds lag. Okay, well, that's about par for the course.
Oh, Snap Eye, are you new to the channel, by the way?
Yeah.
If so, then welcome. If not, then welcome back. He's Baron, I'm not.
Yes.
Fresh, crispy art. Yeah, just hit. Okay, well, it's all going to be, say, fresh and crunchy and full of new age goodness.
Something like that. Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, character Aurora.
Yeah.
And actually, I also need to go through and I need to get the other one opened up.
Appleseed was the original name proposed, but it got shot down, hence Apple Bloom. Same with Big Apple, became Big Macintosh, but that was okay. Go figure.
All right.
Yeah, Time Lord, we have heard about the Animaniacs. Is it coming back? They're going to be getting Maurice LaMarche and, jeez.
Yeah, what I need to do is I'm grabbing the wrong thing. By the way, got a new tool to work with. This is a very nice gift given to me by Larsis. This is a Rotring 800 mechanical pencil loaded with HB lead, and it is awesome.
Pencil porn.
Pencil porn. Oh yeah, University Art used to carry these, and I used to love demoing, but I never could afford one. They were just too expensive.
Orca says, doing any requests tonight or just Patreon?
Just Patreon tonight.
Yeah.
Just getting caught up on stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah, Angdi, that's my big worry. Is one of the biggest things with Animaniacs that made it say so much fun was all of the jokes that would go way over the heads of the kids. You know, why is mommy and daddy blushing? You know, are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky? I think so, Brain, but burlap chafes me so. But where are we going to get a duck and a hose this time of night? You know.
Are you using small to mistaking us for weasels?
Yeah, that's it. And of course, you know, what are you doing? I am a pianist. A what? A pianist, a pianist, a pianist. Mwah. Good night, everybody. Mr. Picasso, there's pee-pee on your smock. It stands for Pablo Picasso. So, yeah. Hi, vey. Twilight Twinkle became Twilight Sparkle. Even referenced that. Yeah. Yeah, listen, Twilight Twinkle, or whatever your name is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was Ember, I think.
Yes. I'm sorry, you guys all look the same.
Or was it in the movie? Yeah. Yeah. I say, too many people cling to those jokes as ultimate proof the show was never meant for kids. Yeah, that evil animation, yeah. Well, again, there was so much more to it than that. But there are some things that I do hope they drop, which were obvious. You know, obviously executives think that their writers inserts like Chicken Boo. Mm-hmm. We can do without Chicken Boo. There was just nothing there. Or Katie Kaboom.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need more. We need more Warner Brothers and Warner Sister. Dot.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if I remember right, Pinky and the Brain went on to do their own show that got more episodes than the original Animaniacs, which was like 65 episodes.
Yep.
And I think Pinky and the Brain had like 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Nizumi, we'll see. We'll see. You know, Steven Spielberg is going to be executive producer on this. We will find out if he has any patience for that kind of thing.
Yep. We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, he replaced, you know, the guns in Close Encounters of the Third Kind with radios. On the other hand, or E.T. rather. On the other hand, he was part of the chorus that said Han Solo shot first.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Mm-hmm. But let's see, which hasn't been on TV since the Hub died? Not sure. Yeah, this guy was herself as a cow. No, Timon, we do not need chicken. We do not need chicken.
We will disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, he needs a disguise to look like human guys, but he's not a man. He's a chicken. Boo. So, a tire spinoff from Minerva Mink. Well, I don't know if say if a whole series of vamp jokes would carry.
You need a little more content.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather chew aluminum. My favorite still was the Wilford Wolf episode.
Yeah.
Minerva Mink, you're my turtle dove. You're the one I've been dreaming of. Yeah. Yeah, Cats, I just think it was executive interest. Did Baron just give the finger? Well, I'll give you a finger. Yeah. I'll give you 10 of them. But, yeah, and for newbies, I sometimes torture people with this and with that.
Yeah, so just getting things blocked in here really fast for the character. And the person asked if I could do her kind of as a classic lounge singer, kind of Jessica Rabbit-ish, even though she's a lot less topographical. in the wrong place.
Yeah, Katie Kaboom, the basic gag in her case, but it's a one-trick pony with no legs. It's a horse sausage. You can dance if you want to, can leave your friends behind. If your friends don't dance, and they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine.
I thought it was very amusing that I forget which boss it was in WoW that my wife figured out if you did the boss encounter to the timing of the safety dance, you could move around the room.
And avoid the fire.
Yes.
Don't stand in the fire.
Yes. Like, okay.
So, I'm just curious, who's the character you're drawing? What's the character's name?
Her name is Aurora, and she is a unicorn. And as I say, I'm going to be doing her up kind of as a lounge singer.
Ah, yes.
With the big square microphones that they used to use in the 19...
The whole bit.
Oh, yeah. Whereas nowadays they make modern microphones that look like the old ones.
Yeah, well, retro is in. Going down the list, I think we have a couple of new folks here.
Oh, excellent.
Daylight, have you been here before? You may have. I'm trying to remember, but if not, well, then welcome. Husker, has Husker been here before? Have you been here before? And Mivulu Utsun, Watsun, have you been here before? I'm pretty sure you're new to us, so I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. And
chime in the chat. Yeah. We're friendly. So is the crowd here.
Looking here, looking here, looking here. Yeah, I think just about everybody else we've seen once or twice or earlier today. So he's Baron, I'm not. He draws, and I torture people with the keyboards.
Of which it is my hope that this year I'm going to have a very special guest here on the show, a gentleman by the name of George Rivera. George is involved with the Triton Museum in Santa Clara. Excellent artist, excellent instructor, and he also plays a wicked electric guitar.
I will happily put my guitar in his hands, and so he can make it sound good in ways that I don't.
Well, he'll probably bring his own Stratocaster in too. He's got a nice Fender.
Let's have to make sure that we're all jacked into the mixing board here, which I may power cycle during the first intermission. By the way, new folks, we take an intermission every hour on the half hour, meaning at 6:30, 7:30, and 8:30 p.m. Pacific. We'll take 5-minute breaks to let people be biological creatures. Get up and stretch and do things like that.
Husker's been here before, but welcome back.
Well, welcome back in. I am booting the lurkers out of the closet. Come into the light. Come to the light. Bonafide Jessica Rabbit, or what's the character's name from Magnolia from Fallout 4?
Yes.
Who, by the way, was voiced by and sung by Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman. Yes. And she wrote all of her own music, as well as performance. She wrote all the songs, all the music for it. Again, she's the jazz singer in Fallout 4 in the basement of the third rail.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Googling George Rivera, liking what he sees, yeah.
Yeah, he's an excellent artist, very talented, and he can look at, you can be a very representationalist type artist like I am, or you can be a very abstract artist, and he can look at your work and he can give you useful feedback. He's able to basically just take his ego, set it completely aside, and look at all kinds of different art styles and give you meaningful feedback. So he's a great person to have. He got me into my first museum show many years ago.
Very, very good.
So I'm hoping to have him back. Of course, we're going to have Jaya back in March. Complete for blowtorches.
Ah, yes. Marigold Heavenly Nostrils.
Yes.
What is the name of the comic that she's in?
Zoe and her unicorn.
Yeah, that was great stuff.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm a unicorn.
Yes, Patina has taken to that in my quest for Dreamscape as one of her favorite.
Yeah. Of course, then there's always, the very surreal, as all things that they did was surreal, Rankin Bass adaptation of The Last Unicorn.
Yes.
There she is, unicorn. Oh, God. that was a very strange movie. But then again, like I said, Rankin Bass.
Yes.
Yeah. On the other hand, Rankin Bass's adaptation of The Hobbit is actually quite good. It really tracks the story that Tolkien intended fairly well. It cuts out, of course, a huge amount of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they were trying to be faithful to the story, even if, and including the background art, which looked a lot like Tolkien's watercolors. You know,
Yeah,
bit of trivia: Tolkien was also a painter, not a great one, but he was a watercolor artist.
Well, that was from a time when, as part of your education, everybody got some instruction on how to paint, and you were expected to be able to make a basic drawing or write a basic story type thing as part of your education. Yeah, and I love the design for Smaug they had, where they gave much more of a feline type look.
Oh yeah, yeah, and and who was the voice?
Oh yeah,
I want to say Orson Bean.
No, I forget the guy's name. He used to do a whole bunch of westerns actually. You're awfully polite for a liar and a thief.
Yeah.
Well, thief, I
Yes.
hear you. I feel your air.
Yeah.
Take plenty, there's extra and to spare.
Yes.
Yeah, they just basically octave doubled his voice, played it back. He spoke his lines twice as quickly as he would have to, and then they just played it back at half speed, and yeah, it turned out really good. Wasn't Glenn? If I remember, it was a country singer.
Yes.
Glenn Campbell.
No, it wasn't Glenn Campbell, but he did a whole bunch of. He was in some of the, if I remember correctly, some of the spaghetti westerns from the 1960s and stuff in the 1950s. And he was your classic, usually played like you're the rough and tumble sheriff or the outlaw who maybe just simply had gotten a bum rap type situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of like, okay.
There you go. Smaug was Richard Boone.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, and of course the let's see, the regrettable folk singer Glenn Yarborough, the greatest adventure.
Well, that was the 1970s when we were going through our folk craze, I think.
Orson Bean was Bilbo. Okay. But yeah, but again, the music was fun.
15 birds in 5 fir trees.
Yeah, and of course,
Where there's a whip, there is a will.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I guess it's coming together fairly nice.
yeah, and of course, in the most recent Hobbit, it was Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Who apparently really enjoyed being Smaug.
oh yeah,
And apparently would go stomping around the recording studio when he was doing his lines. It's like, can you please stay by the mic?
yeah. Rankin Bass and United Artists through Rankin Bass had the rights to The Hobbit, and in a separate contract, the rights to Return of the King, not to
Fellowship or Two Towers.
Ralph Bakshi managed to get a hold of the rights to the Fellowship, but not Two Towers and not Return of the King. Hence the very odd structure of Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings. And that was also why there was a big delay between the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings and Peter Jackson Hobbit, was because United Artists came out of nowhere and said, "You ain't making the Hobbit, we own the rights, give us, several $100 million. It's like, you are out of your mind, we're going to take this, contract that you have to court, because they were very poorly written contracts. And good thing the actors didn't kick off in the meantime.
Yeah.
They almost was too late. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, we need to finish this before Ian passes away.
Peruser is now a patron to you.
Oh, yes.
Very good. So let's see who we got here. Yeah, Slumberger Cumberpatch.
Yes.
Or Benedict Cumberbund.
Yes.
Actually, still managed. He's got some of the Two Towers up to the Battle of Helm's. Yeah. Well, he just went ahead and did that on his own, just to to finish off the.
Just find some kind of stopping point.
Right, and nobody really expected it to go anywhere, so nobody cared. And of course, here we are, a couple of $1 billion worth of box office sales later on the new one, and people care now. Excuse me. Let's see, who else do we have that may or may not be new? Going down the list.
And don't forget, we need to do our hourly duty.
We will do the hourly duty.
Duty.
Yeah, duty. You said duty.
That cool.
Yeah.
Duty.
let's see, here we go. So what is our hourly duty,
Yes.
you may ask?
For new people.
Yes. Well, our hourly duty looks like this. Wait.
Wait.
Our hourly duty is to say thank you to University Art for sponsoring Baron. Who the heck is University Art? They are a high-end art supplies and framing shop with branches in San Jose, California, and in Sacramento, and also Redwood City. They do museum quality framing. They've framed original Rembrandts, Albert Durer, a Nobel Prize once, the award letter. And that's where I get my framing done.
And that's where Dusty gets his done.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you can get the stuff framed there. They use acid neutral, materials, etc. Your art will look great long after you don't. They also have instruction. They have seminars and workshops and craft fairs. And best of all, their employees are all artists themselves, so they know what they're talking about. But they're not on commission, so they're not out just to sell you the most expensive thing in the store, which makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
They also are kind enough to occasionally lend us some of their employees to be guests on the show. Some of you may remember Jaya King, who did artwork with wax and blowtorches and setting Baron on fire. And there was also Jeff Braunschreiber, who is he says he's not an expert, he's an expert in Egyptian tomb art, and he did a show that showed exactly what materials Egyptians used to paint the tombs and how they did it, and he did as a picture of Anubis from the Book of the Dead.
Yep. In fact, he may be back on again this year.
That would be fantastic, and we're going to get, so we may get some more folks.
Yep.
They also put up with Baron for 20 years, so they're very patient. If they can put up with him, they can deal with anyone. So.
And occasionally, Mike lurks in the chat, so Happy New Year, Mike.
say to all the managers over at University Art, Happy New Year, and everybody go get their stuff done there.
Yep. I mean, Jarrell in the chat said, he gets his work done
Hell yeah.
in the Sacramento store.
Hell yeah. All right, so duty done.
Okay, so I got 20 minutes to get this thing finished up.
Oh, plenty of time.
Yeah. But yeah, this is really cool. I mean, I still love my Kona Rapidograph for Rapidamac. When I start doing some of the shading, I'll be using this along with this. But this thing is really wonderful. It's made from basically all machined aluminum and brass. There's almost no plastic in this thing at all. Cute little. It clicks and locks almost like a rifle bolt. Very, very solid. The knurling on here is incredibly fine. It just feels great.
I think the word you're looking for is pencil porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I used to love demoing these things when I worked at University Art, but they were selling for like 70 some odd bucks. And so I never was able to justify. It's like, well, for the extra 20 bucks, I could get all this extra Bristol board and some more pencil lead or color pencils. Oh, I'll just, use this. And then I found this thing in the parking lot about a decade ago. So I didn't have to pay for that one. Before that, I was using some pretty, some fairly chintzy. They weren't total junk, but they weren't the best stuff in the world. Now I've got some really nice pencils, which is good because this is my paycheck now.
A lot of footage unfinished, yeah. Well, Bakshi also recycled a lot of footage from his own movie called Wizards, which just barely dodged an X rating. And of course, the other thing about Ralph Bakshi is everything's about the Holocaust.
Yep.
Well, we understand, again, Ralph's family lost members in that sorry incident in human history. And so he puts, heavy references into that in just about everything that he can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
We get it.
Lest we forget.
Yeah, that's true. But Ralph, we get it.
Yeah.
We understand. But yeah. Did Bakshi also do Cool World? I believe. Was that Bakshi or yeah, that was Bakshi.
Yeah.
Because it sure as heck wouldn't be Don Bluth.
Yeah, because that was like the last thing he did.
Yep. Yep, it's Chow. It's that's the Wizards I'm talking about. Again, it's very 60s counterculture style.
Mm-hmm. Lot of Cheech Wizard and
yeah. It's good for even if you want to sit down and see some classic, very silly animation. Want to kill a bottle of wine while you're at it. It's not what you would call an epic for the times. Yeah, but it's fun.
But it influenced a lot of other artists. It was a very influential movie. It was a lot of other artists who were inspired by it. So it had an impact, like the original heavy metal movie did. Inspired a lot of other artists who went on to do great things.
I mean, any movie gives us, Fritz, they killed Fritz, those lousy, dirty, stinking yellow fairies, those...
Hey, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. New sanding longboard for your bodywork. Talk about skateboarding or something else?
Yeah. Context.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don Bluth has another one as a style that's instantly recognizable. It's the huge chins and lower lips that flap all over the screen. If I remember right, Don Bluth's first movie, I think, was The Aristocats, and the second was that he was involved in. Certainly not as a lead. Second was Robin Hood, where he was in charge of the filming unit that did all the kids, the bunny kids and the turtle and all that. Spiders, snakes, and lizard heads. If I tattletale, I'll die till I'm dead. And it was afterwards that he basically took that entire animation unit and formed Bluth Studios, did Banjo the Woodpile Cat as a warm-up, then did The Secret of Nim, which was a surprise hit, and even though it didn't have a whole lot to do with the original book and had plot holes you could drive a truck through, hi Ari, it was still a beautiful movie. Oh yes, Weehawk from the Wizards. Yes, we remember Weehawk. Yeah, that's the fairy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Plague Dogs. If you want to drink 3 bottles of wine too. How about one bottle of hemlock?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Plague Dogs is a book by Richard Adams, same guy that did Watership Down. Mm-hmm. And the movie Watership Down, oh my God, that is not for children. That is not even close to being for children unless you want to traumatize them.
Hey, my mom took me to it because she thought it was going to be like Bambi.
Yeah.
Hey, I turned out all right.
Yeah, you turned out just fine. Yeah. But Watership Down is a very brutally realistic movie about rabbits' lives in the wild are short and violent and end unhappily, and they pulled no punches. Plague Dogs is worse.
Yeah.
Plague Dogs is medical research is the most evil thing on the planet, and and anybody that does medical research of any time is actually Dr. Mengele, and says, oh my God, again, you want somebody to pull out your teeth just so the pain will distract you from the movie. It's not a badly made movie, but it's the most depressing things ever.
It's like Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh my, yeah. Yes, the Dragon's Lair. My very first real job was at an arcade, slinging tokens. Sega Center, back when Sega owned these things directly. Well, they got out of the arcade business and sold their arcades to the guy who ended up being my boss. This was during my junior college. And then Dragon's Lair came out. And he basically bribed the distributor to divert all the other Dragon's Lair machines that were going to Stockton to the San Francisco market, where they could sell them no problem there. So it wasn't like they were losing any money. But we were the only Dragon's Lair in Stockton for a month. And we put a large TV, back when a large TV was 35 inches, up on top of the game so other people could see it. And the line went around. Oh my God, we made so much money on that machine. So. Sega was owned by Gulf Western at one point. Yep. Yeah, we haven't seen...
Good reference for a scotch there from Larsis.
There you go. We haven't seen an animated film like Watership Down for many, many years. At least not from the Western animation. Japan has animation that brutal, but then again, it always was.
Well, see, for them, it wasn't considered, after World War II, animation came to be viewed in the U.S. as being entertainment for kids. Before World War II, it really was. It was considered family entertainment. But in Japan, it was animation, like manga, is an art form that can be enjoyed by all ages. So you get all kinds of different types of subject matter. And some of it is pretty grim stuff.
Yep.
Okay, now for
Yeah, Daylight. Because I worked there, I could just take the key and open up the thing. I practice. I could usually get to the end. But I would only do that right before closing because there were a lot of people that were, that were putting in quarters because they wanted to see the end. And, well, you're going to have to earn that. In the meantime, pay my wage. But yeah. Time Lord, the thing about when I say brutal animation, I mean that, you know, I say that the main characters die. You know, I say in many cases, on screen. You know, there is blood. I mean, there's not like, you know, oh, hey, that's the liver. But you get to like the characters, and then some of them die.
Kind of like life, some occasionally.
Yeah, yeah, and it's part of it is the contrast. It's a very naturalistic animation, you know, style, very drawing style. They look like real rabbits, and then you get to know them, you get to like them, and then you know, something bad happens. So, yeah. So on the other hand, it's an education.
Yep.
You know, again, it's not all bunnies and flowers. Yeah. Oh boy, you know, say Foxfire. If you don't want to hear from your medical, say from your sister for at least 3 months, by all means. Yeah. Sega made Astron Belt. Yep. Yep. Actually, that was something that we did once with the Dragon's Lair. The way that it worked, it had one of the Pioneer video disc players down at the bottom. It just had like a gazillion chapters, and it would just fast forward and skip to various chapters depending upon, you know, your joystick inputs. But the motherboard that controlled all that was not very well made, and you know, would occasionally crap out. During that time, we would just one of my buddies had a bunch of laser discs, so he'd bring them in, and we just play them through the machine. You know, just disconnect the input that was going into the laser disc machine, and just open the drawer on the bottom, throw it in. Yeah, hey, here's a movie, and we were just doing Star Trek II. You know, and like people made they made a game out of that. You know, and I would tease people by standing at the game and like waggling the joystick around. You know, during the battle with Khan, and you know, his thinking indicates 3D, you know, 2D thinking only. You know, let's make it a submarine movie. Yeah. Yeah. So, teach U.S. history in high school. 2 things we have the kid watch: Barefoot Jen. Yeah, familiar with Barefoot Jen. And When the Wind Blows. Oh yeah. Wasn't Barefoot Jen Tezuka?
Yes, I believe it was.
Osamu Tezuka, yes. Wonder how many of the original Dragon's Lair machines still exist. Quite a few, Time Lord. They are absolutely collector's items.
One of the things that was kind of fun last year when I went back for BronyCon was one night we went to dinner at a place called Crab City, USA. And Crab City is a good seafood place in the Baltimore area. But it also had this arcade in the back where it was nothing but 1980s games. And I stepped in there and I felt like it was 1987 again, and my hair was black. And I was like, wow, they have a pole position game. Hey, it's got a cracked steering wheel just like the one at the arcade I used to play at.
Hey, wait, this is the one at the arcade I used to play at.
I kind of looked around to see if it had some marks I put in one of them at one time.
Yeah,
because every week we used to go in and put our names number 1, number 2.
Yep.
And then we'd go watch B-grade horror films. We'd rent from the video rental store back when you had to go do that. And then we'd come back the following week and put our names, number 1, number 2, number 3, in the standings.
So Daylight is curious as to what you think the best animated story in recent years is. There's a lot of folks who are saying, you know, Zootopia. I'm not sure because
it's a good one, but
I have to be honest. Spirited Away.
Spirited Away was good.
Spirited Away. The ultimate coming of age parable. But that's just my own opinion. Yours is guaranteed to vary.
Mm-hmm. Or it's the best animated film. Because I usually don't have to go, okay, this is in this category. I think this is the best all around. It'll be like, okay, I think that's the best comedy. That's the best action. That's the best, you know, thriller, suspense.
Yeah.
And of course, for me, it's not so much movies as series.
Yeah.
A lot of because I watch a fair bit of anime still.
Yeah. As far as life lessons that say that you'll be thinking about 10 years from now as you go to the voting booth, The Incredibles.
Mm-hmm.
Because the villain had a point, and it's a very valid one. Mm-hmm. You don't want the world to become like his vision of the world, but you know, damn it, he is that way for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, And again, it's something that is worth thinking about on this, whole, ultimate individualism versus ultimate collectivism versus special snowflakes versus the nail that sticks up gets hammered down, and it makes you think, like in a serious way, about serious things.
Which, just for folks who are new, and the microphone just popped off.
Yep.
This is generally a politically free zone. There's enough of that stuff going on in the world.
Yeah.
We come together every other week because, well, we'd like to just be with people we like and can relate to.
Yep, exactly.
And talk about and have art.
We got enough of that other stuff up
Yeah.
there.
Anything Miyazaki? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He
Yeah,
definitely.
Although Miyazaki does tend to be very thematic, he likes coming-of-age films.
Yes, he does. The Wind Rises is a good one. It takes a fair bit of liberties on history in a few spots, but the general premise of the movie, one thing I like about Miyazaki films is even if the world is screwed up, he always leaves you feeling as if humanity is something worth redeeming.
Yeah. Now, Kiki's Delivery Service, that was a good film. Very low-key, as well as My Neighbor Totoro.
Porco Rosso.
Yeah, Porco Rosso as well. Again, just about all of Miyazaki's stuff, with the exception of Mononoke and maybe to a lesser extent Howl's Moving Castle, is low-key, very relatable, treats kids with respect, but not like they're miniature adults.
Nope.
Kids are neither idiots nor are they just little tiny adults that wisecrack and, are basically Bart Simpson.
Yeah.
Now, kids are kids, and they're not stupid, and he treats it that way.
Mm-hmm. Also, too, he realizes that, being a child is a very short and special period in your life. And it is a certain, looking back now, hindsight, now that I'm old and gray, it is a certain, in some ways, it can be a very magical period.
Yep. Let's see what we got here. Oh, God, Joshua Quagmire. That is ancient stuff. Cutie Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
Was a big bopper. Made me unbelieve him and their ear spitting loud and boomer. Yeah. Let's see, which one is that? Josh Quagmire, his stuff was comic books from like 1982 or 83. I don't think it's out there. You would really have to dig deep to find it. And frankly, by current standards, it's not that great.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, it was first.
Yep. And quite often it inspires a lot of people.
Yep.
Kind of like my wife's been going through and watching the original Gatchaman series, which is dubbed, which is kind of amusing because they put back in some of the 1970s slang, so you have people going, "Yeah, groovy, man." And it's like,
Groodelicious. Oh wait, that's Fallout New Vegas.
And you watch the series and you go, "Oh my gosh, that's so cliche." You go, "No, wait a minute, this is what the cliches came from. It was, what started the whole Sentai."
I need to abandon you for just a quick second here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see my work.
Alrighty. So you're stuck with me. Well, Kieran here figures out if anything important's happening at work or if it's just kind of something mundane. And we'll be going to intermission here in a few minutes. And I'll be able to get most of this in and done. Yeah, it's called Battle of the Planets here in the States. And let's just say that Gatchaman's a very different story than Battle of the Planets. And I forget what it's called at the moment. My wife is watching this series that has Greg from Gatchaman in it. And it's really weird. It's like this fanfic turned into an anime series. And she's really enjoying it. Let's see if that's my wife what it's called. But he's like 60 some odd years old now in the series. It's all being done in computer 3D. Not the best 3D animation in the world. Kind of like equivalent of, like, say, Final Fantasy VIII cinematic animation. But not bad, not bad. Okay. All right. All right. Get that blocked in. I'll shade in the rest of her dress later. This block. Now, here's a question. How many folks like the series Dofus? Because I've actually rather enjoyed that quite a bit. And there's a new series that just came out. I believe Netflix is carrying it. We need to start watching it in our household. I mean, you can tell it's based off of a video game because it's spots going, yep, and here's the boss fight. This is a boss fight in the actual series. All right. And of course, the whole thing about Dofus is that going, yeah, that is obviously an anthropomorphic character. And that character is definitely a she, too. All right. Your time. Okay. And we'll just mark here where I'm going to need to do more. All good?
Reboot to the head.
All right. All right. And
The downside of being the guy on call.
all right.
There we go.
Okay. And hey, your timing's perfect. Why don't you switch the camera back to main here?
And 1, 2, 3, go me.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for that, Patient. Technically, Patton Oswalt found a way to become an alicorn for a junkie bad former cop hitman. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, we're going to take our first break tonight. We're going to be a 5 minutes intermission. Go be biological.
I'm going to be.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll see you shortly.
See you in 5.
Husker, don't be weird, boy.
We remember.
Yep.
We remember.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, welcome back, folks. Hour 2 of 4.
And just
he's Baron, I'm not.
Yep. And Larsus, I think you're still in the chat there. We did. What'd you do to the board? You reset the board?
Power cycle the board.
Yeah. Let's see if that might help with some of the hum.
Yeah.
Thing.
The home thing. The home thing.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So anyway, second hour. More Patreon rewards.
Yes.
Who you got lined up?
Well, this one's going to be from McClaw, and McClaw
Don't say McClaw.
Yeah, McClaw was there. He was there a little while ago. Oh, no. Has he disappeared on us?
Well, who else we got? Maybe we can switch.
Well, I got his ref all lined up. There he is.
There you go. Okay. All right, you were hiding.
Yes.
You were hiding.
McClaw chooses who stays and who goes.
Indeed, McClaw.
But he wants, often. But yeah, he wants me to do Tigress from Kung Fu Panda.
Ah, okay.
But as a griffin.
That'll be an interesting challenge.
Yeah, it's an interesting challenge, doing kind of a martial arts type,
Cat, head, bird, butt? No, wait a minute.
But actually, that was the question I wanted to ask McClaw. Did you want to do the traditional bird head? And if so, do you have a particular bird of prey that you would like her to be? We'll wait for an answer from McClaw.
I see a pink pearl. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yes.
Hi.
I'm still there.
Yeah. Dear grief. Interesting. The hum's still there, but with the speakers and can't. Oh, okay. Yeah. Not sure what that would be. I haven't made any changes to the power, so don't know if the ground loop came in there somewhere or what.
Yeah.
We'll hit everything with a hammer when we're gone. When are you ever gone for very long? This is true. McClaw is. You are always here.
Yeah.
So anyway, McClaw, what type of bird for the bird end?
Generic raptor, or do you want just anything in particular? Speak now before I start drawing.
Vulture. No. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, little bloody rainbow.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yes, bird head. Okay, good.
Okay. Falcon, eagle, secretary bird, cast from, say, from the Legend of Zelda, you know, most recently. Yeah. So, Dodo.
Yeah, Dodo.
The rare pipsqueak bird. I don't know. Okay, what trick?
Okay, all right. So it's open then. All right, I did just want to make sure you didn't have something like kiwi. All right. Toucan.
Toucan. Hummingbird.
Follow your nose. It always knows.
Puffin.
All right, I'm going to.
Toucan. You can.
Yes.
Penguin. Wait.
Return. Now, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Patina's a type of bird, right?
Yeah.
Aye, she's a chick, right? Yeah. Carolina wren.
Titmice.
Blue jay. Yeah.
All right.
So what do they have in that part of the world? Yeah.
Come on, open up a new tab. Thank you.
Speaking of griffins, have you ever done Patina's griffin form? I remember at least once.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
If you go to my DeviantArt and look in the MLP gallery, you will find the one because it's under the title "Oh McClaw," because that's what she said in the dream.
Oh, the bird, the word bird. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Caramel delight, quite good.
Yes, that does sound tasty. All right.
That sounds like a picture that you can't show on Safe for Work stuff on something. Yeah, okay, never mind.
What's this?
Caramel delight.
Ah. Oh, yes. Well, considering there was one, she was Barscott Sunday was her name.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
One of the early.
One of the very, very first writers of distinctly adult writing. She was, if I remember right, she was in Japan. She was like an English instructor in Japan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Which
and,
would
and she knew how to write.
yeah, which would explain why her.
Her stuff became popular.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was very well put together.
Yeah, the night Fluttershy exploded. I think it was
Yes.
hers. I think. Mm-hmm. Or so I've heard.
Yes,
So I've heard.
and Luna's Socks
Yes.
is another one of her.
Yeah. Now you're thinking, Jarrell's thinking about Amber and Sweetie and dessert. Oh, you naughty, naughty boy.
Oh, don't worry about that, Jarrell. Patina's already gone there for you. In fact, it was something I was probably going to be doing anyways, just for the heck of it.
Yeah. Oh, cat's paw, cat's paw. You're one of those. That's right. He's one of those lunatics, isn't he?
Mm.
Fluttershy exploded. Did Discord have something to do with it? No, Luna did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You can say we will draw the kind curtain of charity on the rest of that.
Yes.
Let's see. Now the bird, he's a fastball at Carowin. Carowin swings and misses with a foul tip.
Oh.
Right into the catcher's face grill. Yeah. I've never seen a monster movie, but monster movie cereals are appealing to me. Chocula, Frankenberry. And then there was Blueberry, too.
Yes. Yes, Count Chocula.
Yeah, that was awful cereal.
Yeah, but when I was 11 years old, I didn't care. It was chock full of sugar, and it got me.
Cocoa Pebbles. If you were going to do chocolate cereals, Cocoa Pebbles, and you would scarf down all the little floaty rice chocolate bits and then drink the chocolate milk.
Yep.
That's the rule.
And then ricochet off the wall for the next half hour on Saturday.
Chocolate frosted sugar bombs, my new favorite.
Yep.
Well, speaking of chocolate, shall I top you off, sir?
Sure, why not?
So you want another Alexander, or do you want to just go straight to Dorda? And
No, Alexander, if it's not a problem.
it is not a problem. I have another egg.
All right.
Let's see. Yeah. Do. I will make now cocktail making sounds.
Yay!
And the ice is nice. There's the ice. And there is one shot of Dorda chocolate liqueur. And in it goes. And then there is one shot of cream to make it yummy. And then there is, where did you go? Ah, where'd my brandy go? Where's my brandy? There's my brandy.
Watson, brandy. You notice that was home solution for every kind of medical crisis.
Ah, absolutely.
I think it was the, while we think of something else, pump some brandy into them.
Won't make him. It won't make him better, but it'll make being sick a whole lot more fun. All right. And so we got that. We got that. We got that. And
Hello, MC.
howdy, howdy.
Glad you could join us. Oh, that's a good number.
71. I think that's a new record.
Yeah. There must be some new people there, I'm pretty certain, and they're
I will go take a
welcome.
look. I will take a look in just a moment.
Okay.
In the meantime, would you be so kind as to pass me your glass, sir?
Okay.
And we will top that sucker off.
Okay. Yes, I know bartenders around the world are cringing because we're putting a second drink in the same glass. Oh, well. We don't have a back staff washing glasses either.
There we go. There you go, sir.
I have it. I got it.
Nom 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 nom.
There we go. Now we may proceed. Okay.
All right. Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles, for the novelty, they were Flintstone cereals. They also were all the sugar in the world.
Yes.
And I say, the Fruity Pebbles turned your milk interesting colors.
Mm-hmm.
I call this poor brandy into Captain Crunch. Oh, what do you do with a drunken captain early in the morning? Yep, generally like Fruity Pebbles. Basically, sugar, citric acid, malic acid, and puffed rice.
And lots of food.
And sugar.
And lots of food coloring.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember one weekend, sleepover at a friend's house, and we both succeeded eating an entire box of Fruit Loops each.
Good Lord.
And let's just say that certain biological things afterwards were Technicolor.
I bet. I think I see some new people in the list here that I would like to say hi to. I see, looks like Christoph Pasta Illustrates. Is that correct? Your name is a little bit truncated because it's long, but hello, or Soft Pasta. Soft Pasta, Pasta. Soft Pasta. I'll get it right sooner or later.
Yeah.
Hi, Pascal.
Correct them in the chat.
Yeah. Toyson et Moi is new here, I think. Hello. And Toon Fox TV, have we seen you here before? Hello. So I want to say hi to all the new folks. Welcome. To the folks that I may have thought were new but actually are returning people. Well, welcome back then.
Yes.
So Baron's over there. He is the one that is drawing and making arts, and I'm Caradwin, and I'm the one that's making silly noises. And we are all about breakfast cereal.
It's the most important meal of the day.
Flintstones, known for cereal and Winston cigarettes. That's right. They sold, yeah.
Back in the days when they used to advertise cigarettes on TV, I used to take advertising design in art school. We used to watch some of the old, because our instructor had worked at enough ad firms long enough. He had access to the old 16mm film that he had basically converted to VHS.
So who did voice Barney Rubble? Tell us. Tell us.
You don't know that one?
Was that Mel Blanc?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Did not know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jarrell, they were just in separate advertisements that weren't shown during the show, but yeah.
Yep.
They sold, yeah. Because remember, the Flintstones were basically an animated version of The Honeymooners, which was a show for adults.
Yep.
It showed primetime. It did not show during, Saturday morning or anything like that.
Or afternoon after school slot. That was something that happened in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah. Interesting times.
Yep.
Catch pie is old and stodgy. There we go. Yep. Flintstones were the first married couple to sleep in the same bed on primetime TV.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, kinky.
Yep.
Pink for old and weird. Oh, let me tell you about old and weird, Pink. We can tell you about old and weird.
Yeah.
Let's turn that on.
Time for some melodious tunes.
Yeah, but since we don't have any of those, you get this instead.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. I go over to here and said, okay. We start there. We go there.
All right. Good night, Sylvan.
See you, Sullivan.
It's gonna be cold tomorrow when he gets up for work. He has to get up at 4 a.m. He lives in Duluth. So it's gonna be frosty.
I just started to learn that one today. Comfortably dumb. That's me.
You're right. They do change chords, don't they?
Oh, well, say Pink Floyd, well, they're complex. They're all over the place. And besides, I suck, so there. Oh, what else we got here? Come back to me, my mouse. There we go.
Now.
Yeah. Dogs Butler came back in '62 to do Oyster Bit when Mel was recovering from a near-fatal accident. I remember that. Yeah. Oh, there's an old cartoon.
What's
West
that?
Corner of the Park. Yeah. I was asking when I had my characters in it just like once or twice, but everybody's was. Yeah, at least back then. Jim. Jim Grote, a furry legend in his own mind. 14 at the time, because that's when he started working and getting all his injuries that he can complain about now. Yeah, here we go. Here's try 2. Hit it with a bigger hammer, Pearl. That's always the answer for me.
Yeah. Is she having problems with the stream?
Apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe the wires are too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, then that might not be the case. Oh, dog ate my homework this time around. Okay, we're still on camera?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Griffin style. The ancient duck hunt games. Those were just odd. You see, where your little dog was out there would mock you for missing the ducks. It's like, dude, you're in front of me too. It's like, yeah, but I know you'll miss me.
True, good point.
Yeah. Sly Cooper series from the 2000s. That wasn't bad. Yeah, okay. Percussive maintenance. Yep, absolutely. Hand me the metric hammer. Why the metric hammer? Because a kilogram's bigger than a pound and I want to hit it harder. Yeah. Now, as far as classic, like real old school video games, back when I was at the arcade, back in my day, I liked Sinistar a lot.
Yeah.
Run, Mortal, run. Tempest. I was very good at Tempest. I actually had the world record, according to Atari, for exactly 2 weeks. 646,242.
Ah.
Say it even. And that was on 1 quarter. Because we had one at the arcade I was at, and I just practiced like crazy.
Battlezone.
Battlezone was fun.
Yes.
You get to the point where all you get is those damn missiles back
Yes.
up, back up, back up. All of a sudden, twitch sideways, back up, back up, back up. Yeah.
Or find one of the low blocks that you could get in back right because they'd jump and go over you.
Yeah.
But then you had to start backing up again because one would come right down.
Well, yeah, and of course, the other thing is they would come from the different size.
Right, and the super tank.
Yeah.
The super tank sucked.
Yeah.
It was a pain to shoot.
Yeah, I remember Moon Patrol.
Was that the one you had to make sure you calculated your fuel correctly and you could run out of fuel on the
No, that was, I don't know what you're talking about, Gravatar.
yeah.
Yeah, that was complex.
The landing.
No, see, Moon Patrol was basically you had a multi-wheeled vehicle and you were rolling downhill and these boulders kept running at you and you would jump to,
I remember the one you had basically, you were the Apollo, a pilot of the Apollo lander, and it's like, oh, cripes. I came in too fast, or I went up too high, used up too much fuel, and now I'm just going to plummet back down and go boom. And we're all dead.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate, circa 2000. Oh my God, I have a copy of that on my computer. You can buy it, by the way. They've modernized the engine so it runs under Windows 10, and it's it will do 1920 by 1080 resolution from goodoldgames.com, GOG.com.
Yep.
And Baldur's Gate 2, which is considered to be by a lot of people the finest computer game ever, of all time. Regardless of genre, regardless of year.
Go for the eyes.
Go for the eyes, boo. But yeah.
Joust. I was horrible at Joust.
Yeah.
I was horrible at Joust.
They embedded Joust as sort of a Joust clone into World of Warcraft. Where you would get on these birds that would flap around, and you have to hit spacebar to flap the wings, and if you hit them higher than they hit you, you won. Yeah, it was in the Firelands. Yeah.
All I know is I was horrible at Joust. I never could get the thing timed correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 2 is amazing. Again, I think for like $9 you can get Baldur's Gate 2 with Shadows of Amn and what was the second sequel?
Oh.
Well, there was Shadows of Amn and one other expansion for it. Yeah. So, and again, just make sure that you start with Baldur's Gate 1. Steal the golden pantaloons. You get the silver pantaloons, and then there's one other thing that you get, and then you end up being able to make the big unit. And if you can get all three, I think it's Crespinar, the imp in the last sequel of Baldur's Gate 2. He could make if you got all of the pantaloons, he could make the big unit. Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter was fun. It had like a 12-inch subwoofer in it. So it started doing the whole Peter Gunn thing that would shake the whole arcade. Yeah, Mithril was more into pinball games. I am a pinball fiend. Most recently, I had a Top Gun. Actually, not Top Gun. It was a F-14 Tomcat in my garage. But yeah, I've had a few machines. Dusty had a Paragon for a while. And Chris had a Twilight Zone that he kept at our place for a while. We played the heck out of that.
Wasn't that one of the most complicated?
It was one of the most complicated games ever made. High maintenance. Yeah, as I said, but it had one of the most complicated rule sets. Now, one of my favorite of all time, as far as the complicated games, the solid state era, was the Star Trek game. That was fun. Planescape Torment. That was good, and it was another. That was another one that was that discussed concepts of morality, and it said the lawful evil is sometimes the good thing to do, and because again, most good for the most people, even if certain people benefit most. But it made you think. Yeah, and there's a lot of people still think it's the best written from a point of view of story RPG. So,
Sorry, you're having problems staying logged in there,
Mr.
McClaw.
Good Pinball Wizard, yeah, the Who are sad now. Trivia, the game in Tommy was Kings and Queens, which I used to play a lot. So ever since he was a young man, he played the silver ball. Black Knight was very good.
Brighton, he must have played them all.
Yeah, Black Knight was excellent. Magnus A was the new feature on that. I liked Firepower just for a speed game.
Adams Family. Never played the Adams Family.
We had one of those back when I worked at Riverbed. We had one in the break room. It was always broken, and the guy never came out to fix it. So finally, I picked the lock on the front of the thing, opened it up, and repaired all the stuff. F14 garage. Somebody could say exactly. Yeah, and I made the little lights on top work too.
Yes, that's right. You did.
Yeah. Warning for anyone who wants to play Planescape. There is a lot of reading to get the full experience. Yes, you have to read the quest text. You have to read the dialogue. That's what it's about. If you're just trying to hurry through it to get the most experience points, you miss the entire point of the story.
Yeah, my Smudge is getting back into FF14 again.
Yep.
Since she's finding that she's being a good artist and she's getting enough animation work done.
Yep.
She's also finally gotten over the holiday crud that was KO'd her.
Yep.
Something fierce.
Time Lord. First one was Champions of Narath on the PS2, followed by Oblivion. I liked Oblivion. You know, the faces were always creepy. But again, as far as open world just run around, the world was beautiful. You know, it kind of annoyed me that the bandits eventually would get, you know, elven glass armor and stuff like that. And they're bandits, you know, because everything's scaled with you. You know? But yeah, that was the one where Patrick Stewart won an award for best voice actor in a cartoon, and he died 15 minutes into it. Basically, he was the initial quest giver. He was he was Emperor Septim VII, and you know, you are the character that he foresaw in his dreams that would save his family line and that kind of thing. So, but he did a good job. He did a good job. Fallout Best Open World. It's certainly one that I've racked up the most hours on. That's because of the settlement building thing. I love the settlement building part. Without the settlement building, I would say Skyrim. I'm still discovering things in Skyrim that I've got 1,000 hours in Skyrim, I'm ashamed to say, and I still am discovering things I've never seen before in it. Good night, y'all.
Glad you could join us. All right. Now, of course, one thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do Tigress from...
Oh, Nizumi, that's Gauntlet and Gauntlet 2. You know, elf shot the food. Warrior needs food badly. Warrior eats the elf for shooting the goddamn food.
So I am doing Tigress from Kung Fu Panda, and she has some very distinctive markings. I'm trying to have to adapt these to putting them on like an eagle's head. So this is going to be kind of an interesting little challenge.
There's a challenge. Draw Discord. There's a challenge. Of course, you've done that enough times.
Yeah, I've done Discord a lot. I need to get some more Discord.
Discord and Fluttershy.
Yes.
And not a lot of clothes in between. Yeah. Those two like each other. They're very.
Yes. Yes. Bettina ships them, as she puts it.
Yeah.
I ship them.
Yeah. Fluttershy has some interesting body language in some of those drawings.
Mm-hmm. They're very good friends.
They are. Yeah, gotta go. Gotta go build settlements. Yep. Recently, I did a playthrough on, you know, insane survival mode, etc. And now all my settlements are built up. I got a couple of mods in that lets me build with the diner thing. So the Moonlight drive-in, it's nothing but diners as far as the eye can see. It actually looks pretty cool. And its happiness is currently at 99, and I think I know what I need to do to get 100. Oh, speaking of all that, how is the campaign going?
Yes.
Well, I don't know, Mr. Player in the campaign. You tell me. How's the campaign going?
You haven't killed me yet.
I have been doing my level best.
Yes, you have, but you've been failing.
I know.
Now, admittedly, I got myself chewed on pretty good last.
Oh yeah. Yes, he went and tanked the giant scorpions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
except
someone had to do
well,
it.
They weren't completely giant.
No,
Only
it,
the
was,
one.
it was Mama. Well, and she wasn't even a true giant. I seem to remember for the game,
Oh,
but-
Generica, I know what I'm doing immediately after the show. DWK just put out a new video.
Oh, okay.
We love DWK.
Because I know he put out one right before the New Year's. It was the
Yeah.
and I'm glad to see he's getting back to a more regular schedule. I was starting to get kind of worried there. He was getting kind of like, for a while it was once a week, and I was like, okay, we're every 2 weeks. Okay, that's fine. I mean, if it takes 2 weeks to do it, take 2 weeks and do it right.
Yep. Yeah, actually, these weren't the giant scorpions from the Monster Manual.
No.
These guys, they're first level.
Yeah, we've been
Where they're
dead.
just about to second level. Mama had 29 hit points.
I had 12.
Yeah, and had, and the little babies that were riding on her back, because that's what baby scorpions do, had about 7 hit points each. They're so again, Time Lord, they're all level 1, right on the edge of level 2. They got about 250 experience points each. Level 2 comes at 300.
Oh, it sounds like Picardo's having problems
Yeah.
for some folks.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We still have good upload.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Lots of them.
yeah. So basically, the scenario so far, we started out with the party kind of split in that we had Baron and Dave's characters both came from the same part of the not from the same part of the world. But they arrived together.
Same employer.
Yeah, exactly. Baron's character is a Serva, who is a deer dude. It's not an all furry game, by the way. And we he ran into they ran into Leto, who is played by a non-fanish friend of ours. Who they're both archers. They had seen each other at competitions before, sort of rivals. Dave's character Gray is a wolf who is the second son of a very minor noble back where he comes from, out and seeing the world. They got hired on to guard a caravan that was crossing the Sand Sea. In the process there, caravans sometimes travel together. There was.
Good night, Pearl.
Good night.
Glad you could join us. Happy New Year.
You say there was Braden, who's their employer.
Our bread and butter.
Yeah, there we go. And there was Malar, who was in charge of another caravan. They traveled together, and right on the edge of the Sand Sea, they met up a third caravan. The third caravan had a different kind of cargo merchant that involved fetters and chains. There were prisoners that were being transported across the Sand Sea to the city of Saramun, where they would be sold. In that, among the prisoners were Thatch, who is a feline bard played by Dusty Cat, and there was Peak, who is a feline rogue played by Leto's player's wife. And these are basically friends of mine from college. And my other roommate also plays Pensy, who is a mage, who's sort of self-trained. He was basically the guy that cleans the chamber pots at a mage academy, and he picked up his magic by stealing books in the middle of the night, reading them, then putting them back, and hoping nobody would notice them. So it's like, oh crap, we're hooked up. We have 3 caravans together traveling for safety. One of them is slavers. Oh crap. Well, we're really uncomfortable with this, but you don't want to get a reputation for being, passing judgment on what your fellow caravanners are trading in. So suck it up. And they arrived at Caravanserai, which was a little outpost in the middle of the Sand Sea. It's sort of an oasis with adobe walls, etc. They thought they were safe.
Well, I knew I was not, because you had Braden give Dave and I an extra score of arrows, and the GM never gives you anything for free.
Yep. And so what happened was they arrived there. The slaves went off to the slave pen, and they were doing what they could to try and lay the foundation for their escape later. and pickpocketing the guards to get whatever little bits they could, that kind of thing. And the sandstorm started to kick up, and they started hearing something above the sound of the wind of the sandstorm. They heard.
I heard.
Yep, exactly. Gnolls. Gnolls, led by a warlock, were as they started attacking everything. And then Millar's like, I'll help hold the gate. If you can open the inner gates, my men will fire through the portcullis and shoot at the attacking Gnolls. And the local cleric did exactly that, and then ate a dagger from Millar, who was a turncoat. Millar was an infiltrator, and he opened the gates and let the Gnolls in.
Everybody in. Yep.
Yep. So everybody heads to the tavern, in the inner walls, where they have an escape tunnel. And from that point forward, it was down into the escape tunnel, into the caves. Can't step outside the caves because of this sandstorm, with 100-mile-an-hour winds, as it was going outside.
Yep.
And so everybody made their way down deeper and deeper. It was either that or brave the sandstorm outside, and they had some civilians with them, so some survivors. So they didn't want to, take that risk. And that was when they encountered the scorpions. They encountered they figured out that the pool had gray oozes in it, but they moved on. And then the final showdown, this deep cavern, they found Millar. How the heck did he get ahead of you? Well, I know how they did, and I know exactly when he did.
Yes.
Maybe you'll find out someday. So,
and we shot his butt full of arrows.
Yeah, exactly. Millar is a.
That'll teach him.
It turns out is also a warlock who has specializes in necromancy, and did some raising of the dead. But they had a couple of archers with them who were rolling very well, and so Millar quickly went into a back portion of the cavern and disappeared. Just like gone.
Mm-hmm. Dead end.
Except for the little raised stone dais.
Yes.
Yeah. And where'd he go? There'd he go? And so they're chasing after him. It's like, he must have disappeared here. I'll bet that's magic. And so Peak grabs a great big rock, because she had been dropping rocks on people's heads.
Very, very effectively.
She had escaped. That was one of the slaves, that escaped. The rogue. And I had been dropping rocks on people's heads, so she dropped a big rock through this, what they figured out was a portal. And then one of the party members got impatient and just jumped in, and everybody else followed, and they found a...
Because we're adventurers.
Yeah, and they found Millar on the other side, with his head bashed in by a rock. If they look around, everything they see is muted colors. There's just basically dark, very, very shadowy, some things sort of a glowy outline. Where the hell are we? But they have other things to worry about, like that completely void black figure that's just an outline of what looks to be vaguely human crouching over Millar's body. And that's where we are right now.
I wonder if that was Millar's patron.
Well, but that may have something to do with it.
Because he had that book.
Yeah. Time Lord, in my game, you can play gnolls. The thing about gnolls is that they really come in two varieties. One is the worshippers of Yenogu, who is this goes all the way back to old D&D stuff. He is a demon lord, and gnoll worshippers of Yenogu are just these absolute, brutes. They're supernatural. Again, more of them arise when hyenas, eat the dead that the gnolls are traveling, that the gnolls, generate, as it were. Then there's just gnolls, who are just, bad-tempered hyena dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You can play if you want. But yeah, the party makeup right now is that we have a human fighter, archer, sharpshooter. We have a human mage who's going to be going down the illusionist path. We have a ranger, archer. That would be Baron's character.
Cedric.
Dave's character is a fighter who's going to go down Battlemaster path. We have Peak, who is a feline rogue, and we have Thatch, who is a feline bard. And that is So that is, the campaign where it is right now.
Mm-hmm. And we'll resume it next Saturday.
Mm-hmm. You know shit's going down when the room is full of gear, health, and ammo.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, uh-oh. I've been wanting one of those weapons, and now there's 3 of them and 2 extra power packs.
Indeed. You know what I'm going to do, actually, for the moment?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to do a duty.
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 Yep, we do this every hour, folks, so brace yourselves.
We do a duty.
Prepare yourselves for University Art, which is a proud sponsor of Baron's show. They keep him supplied with art supplies because that's what they do. They are a high-end art supply and framing store with outlets in Sacramento and San Jose and Redwood City, California. They sell excellent art supplies sold by people who are themselves artists and understand what the heck's going on. The sales staff, by the way, are not on commission, so they will sell you what you need, not what's most expensive. Mm-hmm. They offer high-end framing, museum-grade stuff. Exactly. Yeah. Again, this is almost 20 years old, and it still looks as new as the day it was framed. They have seminars and workshops. They have craft fairs. They have all kinds of good stuff. They also occasionally will loan us their employees to be guests on the show. Folks like Jaya King and Jeff Bramschreiber. You remember Jaya? She tried to set Baron on fire. It was great.
Yeah, she's the one who want to take home your fuzzy wall hanging.
I shipped Jaya in my wall. Yeah. So we want to say thank you to University Art for sponsoring Baron. And again, sometimes their management lurks to see how things are going. So hi Jeff, hi Mike. And that is our hourly duty.
Yes, it is. Yeah, McCall, actually at one point they thought about just calling themselves UA, and then they went, no, wait a minute, there's this much larger company that has
United
that
Artists.
and that will not end well.
Yeah, that will end in sadness, tears, and profit for lawyers. Mm-hmm. No matter who wins, 2 lawyers get paid.
Yep.
There we go. Players just arrived at the capital, having been summoned by the king for defeating an evil beholder controlling a mind flayer colony. That is a classic combination, by the way. Mm-hmm. Mind flayers and beholders. Sometimes they work together, sometimes they're bitter enemies, but everybody involved is evil, evil, evil.
Yes.
The implication is that mind flayers are aliens to this multiverse, and maybe beholders as well.
Possibly things from the outer planes.
Beyond.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some that say they're just plain. They're not from this multiverse. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're level 10. Yeah. First introduction I had to DMing players with mind flayers and beholders and stuff like that was it was again the Descent into the Underdark series, D1, 2, and 3 that ended up down in the Drow capital city. Mm-hmm. And ended up everybody going after Lolth and her spidery spaceship. That cruise the astral plane. So yeah, and mind flayers, they will eat your brains, quite literally. Mm-hmm. Quite literally. Yeah, so they are basically Cthulhu monsters. Mm-hmm. But they can be dealt with if it's in their interest. But remember, you're cattle to them. Mm-hmm. You are never anything other than cattle. Clever talking cattle, but cattle nonetheless. Gallifrey, yes. The topic of D&D came up because we have several dungeon masters and players here, including players in my campaign, and Time Lord is also DMing. So, yeah, I got reduce the barbarian's intelligence to 3 for a few sessions. Oh, that would be an improvement! Ha 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 ha. And Nazumi is very much liking your tiger burb.
Oh, cool. Glad she's liking it.
Yeah.
Hope McClaw's liking it.
Oh, by the way, Gallifrey, have you been here before? If so, well, welcome back. But if not, just plain welcome. Who else do we have that's new? If you're new, say hi.
Yes, chime in.
Yeah. To a mind player, Eli snack. Yeah, oddly enough, the barbarian is the second smartest. Oh boy, that's gonna end well. Hi, Blackbird. 97 Blackbird, welcome. I think you're new.
Yes, and Galfer.
Califer, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome. We do this-
Cleabot, I think Cleabot is new.
We do this every other Saturday.
He's Baron, I'm not.
Working on Patreon rewards tonight for folks.
Absolutely.
Because my patrons on Patreon are one of the reasons why I was able to quit my day job.
Well, this is your day job. What you talking about?
Yeah, well, my office job. Back in 2015, and this May will be my 3rd year away.
Yeah. Bravo. Mind Flayer Bard. Yes, that would be Rick Astley.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Gonna eat your brains, then desert you.
You've been Rickrolled, and you got a 1.
Oh, Edmond, are you new? If so, welcome.
Hello, Edmund.
If you're returning, welcome back.
Yeah. We have, let's see, who else we got here? Who else we got? Yeah, good size. It's a good sized group tonight. 71. Yeah. So one of these days we got to do something special if you can ever bust 100.
Yeah, if we get 100 people in the chat, we'll do something special that night.
Yeah, it's hilarious how attitude towards D&D has changed over the years. Well, that's because those of us who played D&D when we were, awkward teenagers are now the managers.
Yeah.
And the store owners and the elected officials. And yeah, so we've got this nostalgia thing going on. We've got, D&D that is not 4th edition, which is pretty universally reviled. D&D 5 is much better, and we have...
Yeah, I'm enjoying 5th edition much more.
Yeah, and of course, Critical Role has made a huge impact. Matt Mercer and his group, a bunch of voice actors get together and play D&D, and it is as insane as you think it is. Yep. Nazumi, yeah, that includes folks who are lurking. So yeah, 95 including lurkers. I want to see 100 folks in the chat.
That means registered.
Yeah. And also because lots of people aren't spreading the idea that D&D is the literal work of the devil.
Yeah, yeah.
No. We know what the literal work of the devil is. that would be Family Guy. I'm sorry. Wait. What? Sorry.
Now.
No politics. Family Guy.
Yeah.
Need to put your adventurers through what I call the WB room. You say, oh, I'll put them through Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, and then it will be like, non-canon for the campaign, or because Tomb of Annihilation was designed to kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah. One is a genius, the other's insane. Once upon a time, it was turning our children satanic. Yeah, look what that got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the Barbarian is one of the smartest, it's going to be a good time. Got 4E from Tactics Combat standpoint. Yeah, 4E is interesting. They insist up and down that they weren't trying to make it, like an MMO, but when you introduce things with cooldowns, with overlapping cooldowns of different duration, etc., it's kind of hard to sell that story. How many rule sets have they had over the years?
You go back to the original, don't you?
Yeah, well, there was Chainmail, and there were a couple of supplements. There was Basic D&D, which is where I came in. There's Advanced D&D. Then there was 2nd edition, 3rd edition, 3.5. At that point, it forked into Pathfinder and was D&D as well. There was D&D 4th edition and D&D 5th edition. 5th edition is current.
Yes, I think it's kind of using a kind of a household story for my household is the fact that one of my roommates, James Lowry, his father ran a game company.
Yeah, SSI.
Yeah. And then a Guide on Games. And he actually had an opportunity to be the publisher for original Dungeons and Dragons, but felt he couldn't put enough capital, so he passed on it.
Yeah. Well, it was probably a good idea because Gygax ran it into the ground financially. So probably, yes, you count where that whole count where it says 71, 72 users on the top is people who are in the chat.
Yep.
There are folks who are who are not in the chat. They haven't set a name or anything like that. But we know you're out there. We know you're lurking.
Yep.
Join us. It's bliss.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. You ought to start thinking about what you might do.
Yeah, I got some ideas.
Yeah.
I got some ideas.
Clunk, thud.
That's not it.
No, that was my giant D20. Although this actually is not a D20 per se, it's a countdown thing because all the numbers are right next to each other. You know, this is 1 is next to 2 is next to 3 is next to 4. It means that you can quote roll it and get whatever number you want. Like okay, I'm gonna roll it and get a 20. Bing, bam. Oh hey, how about that? What's on top? 20. Oh, let's take another. Let's see. See, this looks random, doesn't it? Bing. Oh hey, what's on top? So. I don't use this against my players except to maybe to bean them because you can get like a split-fingered D20 and you can get a knuckle D20 and it can throw a curved D20.
Yeah, like I say, it's better for saying giving the sense for the players for us. You have 5 turns to solve this. No, sorry, you wasted a turn. It's now 4.
Yep. Yeah. And that's exactly what it's for, except it's using Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it could be a very useful tool for occasionally reminding us, you have just wasted 3 turns. 2 turns to try and resolve this problem.
Yep. Angi, no one is a fan of that. No one.
Unfortunately, I will say James.
Okay, a couple of things that were okay.
It was very hit and miss on the writing.
Yeah, that's one word for it. Yeah. No, if I wanted to see something like that, it would either be Thundar or He-Man or something like that. Although, best science fantasy is out there, Brave Star. Yeah. Yeah, actually, Brave Star had an episode in which Brave Star's mentor, who had made him into the marshal that he is, was stood accused of murder, and found out, yeah, he did it. He killed a guy on screen, dead. Not like G.I. Joe where the parachute comes out. It's like no, he shot him with a disintegrator. Now he's a smoking pile of ash, just like in Fallout 4. Ooh, that was grim. It was a kid show, right? Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, might get disintegrated.
Yeah. But the Brave Star was quite good. I made Baron draw 30-30. So I like 30-30 and Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see a reboot of Brave Star. I saw someone had a proposal for I forget who it was, for a Brave Star in which New Texas had gone, as they had been taken over by basically crime syndicates, and now Brave Star is hunted by the quote Rangers, who are just all they are servants of the evil overlord, and Brave Star is now on the other side of the law and has to do questionable things to survive and to set things right. That would make a hell of a series. Oh, I would be all over that.
All right, about coming from the 5-minute mark here.
Yep.
Yeah, Tex.
Yeah, that was the episode where Brave Star killed Brave Star. There was a drug OD on the show, and the kid died right there on screen. So yeah.
It was like for the first couple of seasons, the TV series Gargoyles was pretty good. Then it kind of went weird.
There we go. The classic D&D story where the PCs managed to totally screw up and evil was about to win. The clerk prayed for divine intervention and the GM granted it. So a celestial entity shows up. Yeah, and it always comes with a price. The entity told the party it would answer one question for them. And the orc in the party said, "Is that one question for each of us?" "No." And the entity returned to the heavens. Oh! That's like the Simpsons episode. I will answer 3 questions. Really? Yes. Really, really? Yes. Really, really? Yes. Yeah, thank you. Come again.
What's also the image of some of the celestial being? I have this image of Celestia popping up, going, "Yes." That was your one question. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Goodbye, my little ponies.
How does your hair do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't have any date yet on when season 8 comes out, right?
Not that I know. It may have been announced, but see. Any of you guys know?
Yeah. You guys know when season 8.
MLP season 8 first episode legitimately released.
Yeah.
But so far, I have avoided all of the spoilers. Yeah. Yeah, actually, a little bit of trivia. J. Michael Straczynski, the guy who wrote Babylon 5, also wrote for He-Man.
No date yet, says Andy
Yep.
Garrett.
Yep. Yeah, we were just tougher in the 70s and 80s, yeah.
Walk it off.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Hyphen, it's going to be a Hulu exclusive, Animaniacs.
Ah,
Spielberg, executive producer, Maurice LaMarche, and oh God, where's the other guy? The guy that's Pinky. I should know this.
yes.
Anyway, they're back. They got Rob Paulson.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob Paulson. Of course, he also is Wacko Warner. Yep. I think they're getting back all the original cast.
Yay! None of them died.
We were a little bit worried because I think it was it Rob Paulson? I think it had throat cancer. I think it was Paulson. It was either Paulson or LaMarche. And they were worried, first of all, they were going to lose him. And then they were worried that he would, never be able to voice act again. But apparently he's able to do all his voicings, and he's 100% recovery.
Yay.
Hooray!
Okay, well, it's 7:29. Why don't we switch cameras here?
Let's switch cameras. I will push this button right here,
Okay.
and we will switch cameras now. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so I'm going to switch glasses so I can read the screen, because I can't read that one from over here with those glasses on. All right, so we are about to take our next break.
So we'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll be doing, again, another Patreon reward. This one will be for
Jarrell.
Hey, Jarrell, stick around. Your Patreon reward is going to be coming up real soon. In the meantime, yeah, it is indeed a nice tiger burb. In the meantime, 5 minutes, get your drink, go get rid of your previous one,
Right.
and we'll see you in a few.
Stretch. Okay.
I am Fawford, this is my grey Mauser. It's a Swedish Mauser, it is a 6.5. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got Cato. Karen awards you 10 points. I award you negative 10 points. So such balance in nature. Yeah.
Yin and yang.
Yep, exactly. C96 was available in 9mm and 7.65, which was kind of an like, why would you do that?
Well, that was the original.
Yes.
And that was basically them stealing the 7.63 Pochard.
Yeah. Borg, borg.
Yeah, Pochard.
Yep, exactly. And by the way, the Hans Blaster again took a Mauser. They welded a whole bunch of crap onto it, but it still functioned in its original function. So yeah,
For a while, there was a guy who made kits you could buy, so you could put the scope and everything on your broom handle.
I would love to get my hands on one of those.
Okay, so back for the third hour.
Hour 3.
Yes. And we are going to be next up, Jarrell. Because Jarrell has, he was one of the people that's kind of encouraging the whole Sweetie Belle and,
It's his fault.
and bunny suits and things like that. So, did I ever do a picture of Ember? Yes, I've done actually a couple pictures of Ember. I did at least one here on the stream. If you go to my DeviantArt MLP gallery, not my MLP Dreamscape, I have one that's called MLP. If you go there, you'll find a couple of them right there. And you should be able to find my DeviantArt link down in the bottom. Mm-hmm. For it.
Or it's right there on the screen,
Yep.
It's right there.
There.
Alrighty. But in the meantime, so Jarrell, your Patreon reward is up. So what you gonna do?
I'm going to do, well, see, he really liked the Santa Elf Sweetie Belle.
Did he now?
Yes, he did.
Did he now?
He did. But he made a little comment about the fact that him fighting under his Ember's tree instead of her is a Sweetie Bot, basically like that.
Okay. So
Yeah. With this little note, you weren't naughty enough. So
epic fan.
I'm terrible encouraging Patina with Sweetie. Yes, yes. So I'm going to be doing that.
Alrighty. So I'm going to push this button that looks like this right here.
And I'm going to change my glasses.
Aha. Yep. Sweetie Bot in Santa garb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, there was on the YouTube series Tabletop, which is all about tabletop type board games and stuff, hosted by Will Wheaton. One of the guests showed up with a Sweetie Bot shirt, and of course everybody's like, that was on the Formula D episode, if I remember right, which is a car racing game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I keep dropping this thing because
You
it's
keep
my
playing
voice.
with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't want to drop it? Don't play with it.
Hello,
Simple.
Andrew.
You didn't do it. It was supposed to.
I'm Dr. Robotmare.
Come on, open up the link. Give me the tab. Open the tab. Thank you.
So now I'm flashing back to Fallout 3, the big MT. Not Fallout 3, excuse me, Fallout New Vegas, the big MT expansion.
Right.
Old World Blues, I think it was the expansion. Yeah. Like Dr. Robotmare, like Robotnik. Snooping as usual. Dr. Robotnik, wasn't that an antagonist from Sonic the Hedgehog?
I think so.
Yeah, consoles aren't really my thing. PC Master Race,
Stay out of that one.
Politics, oh my God. Yeah. One game was Fiasco, yeah. Very RP heavy. But a Fiasco, they did one called Dread. And that was a brilliant idea, where it's a very linear storytelling thing, literally. But the way you decide whether your characters live and dies every time something tense happens, you have a Jenga, the stacked up blocks, and you pull one out and until it all comes tumbling down. You every time something your character, what do you do? Well. I look to see, I look at the crate of dynamite, and well, you see that there's a lot of crystalline whiskers covering the dynamite, and they're nitroglycerin whiskers, and if they snap, it's going to go off. I'm going to put the cover back on the box. Take a pull, and then you pull a Jenga piece, and if it all comes tumbling down, your character dies. And it's. Again, by the end of the game, there's usually either one or nobody surviving. So it's just all these one-shots there, but it's really, really tense, and it's very physical. Mm-hmm. Actually, for Tabletop Game Day, they got a set of oversized Jenga pieces, and they did one of those on YouTube. It was great. I might actually do that. That would be fun.
Cedric dies. Oh, damn.
Yeah. I used to run a D&D character whose stats alternated between 18 and 3. I'm actually going to be, tomorrow, starting in a Roll20.net hosting. Roll20 is a online, D&D thing where they have a virtual tabletop and that kind of stuff. Agni plays on it. But I found a game and rolling characters, and we're doing 4d6 drop 1. Again, I'm speaking gibberish to most of you. And I ended up with 17, 12, 12, 11, 10, 5. How do you do that with 4d6 drop 1?
5?
5.
Woo!
The DM let me re-roll it, and it came up as a 10. So, but it's still, it's like, okay, well, I ended up with, as I'm doing an Eldritch Knight. We're starting at level 3. So I put that into Dex, and I made him Dex based, and he's a high elf, so he gets +2 to. He gets +2 to Dex, so very thump. I'm gonna leave that where it fell. Very
You're gonna break something with that, son.
Yeah, we'll break me with that. Yeah. And so he's probably gonna live a short and bloody life, but that actually is going to be running tomorrow evening for my very first time. Oh. So I've never, I get to play as a D&D player very, very seldom. I almost always am the dungeon master. So this is going to be a real treat. It's my first time on on Roll20. So we'll find out. But yeah, so I'm playing a snotty high elf. Who secretly doesn't believe in all the snottiness, because high elves, they look down even on other elves. But it's what people expect from him. If he isn't snotty, they think that he's a doppelganger. Like, okay, fine. This is just the kind of attitude I've come to expect from you short-lived, candles in the breeze.
I thought if he was a high elf, he just had the munchies all the time.
A different kind of high. Typical joke from one of the lowborn.
That'd be me. Guilty as charged.
How cool would the Microsoft Surface Wall be as a tabletop for interactive RPG? People do that actually quite a bit. They buy plasma TVs, take them out of the plastic shells, and they'll go buy like an IKEA table and cut out an opening that's exactly the size of the TV and mount it underneath a thin piece of plexiglass and do a virtual tabletop that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually a fairly common thing. Yeah.
And Surface might just give you a little bit more. Of course, I think that if you wanted to really take full advantage, you'd have to not have the plexi on top, so you could still do the touch screen function.
Yeah, but you'd also get all scratched up.
Yes, it
because
is.
people put the miniatures and stuff on it.
Everyone has to have felt on the bottom of their miniatures, or they can't put them down.
Yeah. Yeah, Time Lord, in theory, it generates a nice bell curve in results. Then I get a hold of the dice and shoots that one out. But yeah, aren't all elves snotty? Not really. At least in D&D, wood elves are fairly approachable. Folks but high elves, they are the chosen ones. Or at least that's the trope.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with you, Mr. Badly Behaved Human, that another 50 years won't cure. So I can wait. So yeah. Lord of the Rings several times by now, and they also never seem full of themselves. You haven't read the Silmarillion, then?
Yeah.
Oh, the attitude that that particularly the Noldoran elves have, where they have named men the Firamar, the sickly, the self-cursed. Now they there's definitely a severe attitude problem, at least by some elves towards others, and of course it was actually in the Silmarillion we find out why elves and dwarves don't get along, and like most things in the Silmarillion, ultimately it's all Melkor's fault, but the Silly Million, yeah.
The Silly Million, yes.
Yeah, I made a service table back in 2007, which is IR, again, basically a grid of sensors, yeah. Just when they won't let Gimli enter Lothlorien. Well, actually, they have, Lothlorien elves have a very specific gripe with dwarves. That's that they dug too deeply in Moria and woke up the Balrog, and then the Balrog came out and started terrorizing everything. And the elves blamed the dwarves and their greed, for doing that.
They mined too deep.
They delved too deep and woke the nameless terror. Now, why were they that greedy? Well, you remember the 7 rings for the dwarves in their halls of stone? The only effect that the rings had on dwarves was not to turn them into wraiths, which is what they did to men, but it did amplify their natural greed and turn it into avarice. And it was more mithril, more mithril, more mithril. And they woke up a Balrog, which served Sauron's plans just fine, thank you very much.
And paid for it.
Yep. There, of course, in the Silmarillion, what happened was Silmarils were holy jewels that had the light of the 2 trees, which was an echo of the light of creation. And after the 2 trees were killed, by Melkor and a giant spider named Ungoliant, they were the only source of the original light of creation that was left. And there were 3 of them. And one of them had managed to be recovered, and it was used as a bride price for Beren, greatest human who ever lived, and Luthien, who was daughter of an elf king and one of the second order divine beings, Melian the Maya.
Generic dwarven motto: dig until you hit evil.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go. Perfect.
Good, Sharon.
Perfect.
Good one, generic.
Perfect. So,
Boy, that sure seems to happen in a lot of stories of that involving dwarves.
Yep, yeah, pretty much. And so the Elf King had wanted to have the Silmaril set into a necklace, which he commissioned the dwarves to do it. And the thing is that the Silmarils were also cursed because of all the blood that had been spilled over them. And the dwarves decided they were going to keep it for themselves. and
just meant more
tried to make off with it, and killed a bunch of elves in the process. The elves then slaughtered all the dwarves in question, to the least and the last. And from that point forward, there was no trust between elves and dwarves, and that was one of the many reasons why elves and dwarves don't get along. Yeah, dwarves drug too deeply because they're trying to pay off student loans. I'm telling you, the interest rates charged by Aule,
Yeah. Well, just considering that my wife last year finally paid off her student loans 20 years after she graduated. Yeah, we can relate to that.
Aw. Angie says Baron and Smudge are Baron and Luthien too.
Aw, thank you. I do love her dearly, and I'm very happy that she's finally getting over the sinus infection that really kind of made Christmas and New Year's rough for her because she was in bed for both days. So I had to spend my Christmas day basically playing nurse and making soup for her and hot tea.
Yeah, Baron, B-E-R-E-N. Yeah, Baron. No, you have both your hands. Yeah.
I like to keep it that way too.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, your left hand actually is fairly useful when you're drawing.
No, do not go there, Pinky. Do not go there. Do not go there. No, no, no. 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 I will pay Smudge to draw that. No. No, Angie. You are evil.
Don't give Bettina ideas.
No, I'm going to give Smudge ideas. That's what I'm going to do. Make her draw it.
Well, fine. As long as you pay her for it.
Yeah, right. Standard rates apply.
Yeah, damn straight. No breaks for friends.
We charge double for that around here. Yeah. We are defined by our vulnerabilities as surely as we are defined by our strengths. Oh, yeah. Well, just remember, Engel in German means angel.
That's right.
Angel bunny. The most evil thing on the planet.
Yes. But then consolation, Angel and I don't get along in my quest for Dreamscape that well.
Yeah.
Which actually will become a little more important as the new year rolls around because certain things are going to happen which are going to involve Fluttershy.
Yep, that's a sweetie bot. Sweetie bot. Okay, I thought you said sweetie but anyway. Yeah.
About that weather we're having.
Yeah.
We sure are having some.
Yeah. Is it more important whether there will be weather or what the weather is?
Yes.
Yeah. Care as Wing the Merciless. Yes, good. Tell me about this planet. Yeah.
What's this word you keep using? Man.
In California, it's sweetie pot now. Oh, wow.
Well, when you kept talking about the high elves, I was wondering, oh, wait a minute.
Angel doesn't get along with anyone that isn't Fluttershy, and sometimes not even Fluttershy.
Fluttershy.
Yeah.
And I do find it interesting as the series has progressed, she has grown, she's gotten a bit more resolve. Some people might say getting a spine, but, as I say, resolve.
Yep.
And she's a much more likable character now because of it.
Yeah, that's not the worst suggestion in the world I've ever heard, Cato.
What?
Anthro Celestia in a French maid outfit.
I will let people know.
Lost the bet, yeah.
Along with Ayoub, are you new? If so, welcome. If not, returning, welcome back. But I am, when I get done with the bunny suit series, one of the things is going to be French maids, so stay tuned.
Oh boy.
Along with cheerleaders.
Yeah, oh boy. Okay, we're going to keep you busy for a good long time.
Yep, exactly.
Sometime in the next 50 years.
How do ponies apply in your life? Well, you want to take that one first?
Well, let's see. First of all, you fill out this form here with a work history. Let's see. Once you have that, you have to go talk to Human Resources, and they set you up with an interview. Now, we are fans of the show, but that's not exclusively what this channel is about. Baron he draws technical art. He draws comics. He draws science fiction stuff. Standard fantasy. He is all over the map.
And of course,
So,
one thing that I also am is I'm a lucid dreamer.
hello, Mumbai.
And one of the things that started happening back in 2011 when I first started watching the series is I have a thing called dreamscapes, which I will return to the same location over and over again. And
See you later, Husker.
And dreams I had the night before, things that happened in that will apply to the new dream. And I started having dreams where I was a pony in Equestria. And I'm still having dreams there to this day. And I work as a weather pony. I'm a Pegasus pony.
Good work if you can get it.
Yes, it is. Pays actually pays pretty good for the amount of effort you have to put in, even full time. The paperwork sometimes is hellacious, but oh well.
How was the My Little Pony movie? Very well animated. It's something that if you can see it on a big screen, if you can't see it in a theater, go find your friend with the biggest TV you can find, because it is visually very good. I'm not going to spoiler it too much, but the story makes more sense, I think, if it takes place between season 3 and 4 than between season 7 and 8.
Also, too, the main focus character is not actually one of the main 6.
Right. It's really not. It's not. The story is really not about them. It's about the villainess and her personal story arc. And I think they did a good job with that. So, again, it's not like greatest thing ever, but it is well worth seeing. Again, I think you'll enjoy it.
And someone has told us that we do need to take care of our hourly responsibility.
This is true. This is also true. Yeah. Who was the Killer Bunny and Sluggy Freelance? I forget. Yeah. All right. Comes out on DVD on the 9th. Yeah. And I think you can already get it digitally.
Right. No, actually, I've been a lucid dream all my life since I was a little kid. Now, when I was in college, when I found out that there was actually a thing about it, I actually started studying a lot more through self-hypnosis and everything. But it's something I've been able to do. I mean, I've got one dreamscape Andor, which has been going on since 1995. So,
yeah. Basically, Baron documents his dreams, which, again, one takes up after the next. It's kind of like a soap opera, on DeviantArt.
Yeah.
And he's got about 2,000 drawings about that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Well, not all of it is the dreamscape stuff, but...
But a lot of it is some way or another connected to it, yes.
So anyway, yeah, we are reminded that we have to do our hourly duty.
Yes, we have to take care of our responsibility to our sponsor.
Yes, and our sponsor is University Art, which is a high-end art supply and framing shop with outlets in Sacramento and San Jose and Redwood City, California. They have an excellent selection of art supplies and a very knowledgeable sales staff who are not on commission, so they will sell you the right thing and not the expensive thing, who are all themselves artists. Again, their framing shop does museum quality work, which means that your artwork is preserved correctly. The materials they use are acid free. Your art will be beautiful long after
you're not.
Your worm food. Yeah, I'm sure they love hearing that.
Yeah, cheery thought. That's to make Mike happy in the.
Yeah, there you go, Mike. Yeah, Mike's one of the managers there. They sometimes are. Hi, Mike. And but the fact is that they again, if you want your artwork to be able to be passed down to your kids and still look great, they can do that. I mean, they have handled original Picassos, originally Albert Durer, and original Rembrandts, and as well as a Nobel Peace Prize. Was it Peace Prize or chemistry?
It was a Nobel Peace Prize, and we've done some Picassos. Actually, we did quite a few Picassos.
Yeah.
Done some Andy Warhols.
Yeah. So we're talking, serious high-end framing here.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, we also want to thank them for occasionally lending us their employees. They did have Baron as an employee there for 20 years. But some of their current and past employees have showed up as guests on our show. So we want to say thank you to them for sponsoring Baron and keeping him supplied with art supplies.
Okay.
Duty done for the next hour. Yay.
Oh, I just realized what time it was. Oh, cripes, I got lots of time.
Oh, yeah. You're not even halfway done.
Halfway in my time slot, yeah.
Yeah. So there we
That's
go.
good. It means I get a little more shading on Jarrell's piece.
Yeah. Always wondered if Angel was related to General Woundwort. In Angel's dreams. General Woundwort is the main antagonist of Watership Down.
Yes.
He leads another rabbit warren, and he's a tyrant and a brute. On the other hand, he's been able to grow his rabbit warren to be hundreds, which is much, much larger than it normally would be, which is 1 to 2 dozen. But he does it by being an absolute tyrant. The rabbits are safe, but their lives are utter hell.
Yeah.
Again, he is a bastard. So he also is utterly fearless. Some marauding dog comes through the woods, that would normally just kill rabbits left and right. He'll go out there and mess it up. And rabbits can do that. They can scratch the crap out of you.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, in the movie Watership Down, he really comes across as what he is. He is Joseph Stalin, who is not afraid to do his own dirty work. So yeah, but Angel can only dream. Angel's villainy is just petty. So is this a Mondasian or a Cybus, Sweetie Bot?
Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, Rail. Happy New Year.
Howdy, howdy.
I haven't seen you.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Don't think you made it last stream, so Happy New Year.
I'm going down the list, and I see some folks that may be new here.
Oh, well, we're at 75, too.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. Coco Dream, are you new here? If so, please say hi. Welcome, welcome. If you're returning, then welcome back. And we also have Adam Profandor. Did I pronounce that right? And Aub, we've said hi to Aub. And let's see, who else does my ailing brain say? D. Steers, I think. Dude with Games. Have you folks been here before?
Yeah.
If so, welcome back. If not, then welcome. Anybody else here that is a first-timer? Potato eater, delicious. I have my potato jokes, but we will leave them behind. Torsen, are you new?
Dorian, I do spray my graphite and my charcoal drawings with a fixative. My preferred brand now is from the Blair Company. It's their low odor fixative. It lives up to what the can says compared to things like Krylon's workable fixative. It's very good and it raises a lot less stink. You still need to spray it outdoors just because it doesn't smell bad. Doesn't mean you should be inhaling it. But it is a good product, and it works well, and it has, if you apply light coats, it only has minimal effects on the final piece.
It doesn't turn it all bright and shiny.
Or cause it to darken. That's actually one of the problems you'll have with like pastel drawings. A lot of pastel artists.
Oh, it's reactive.
Well, also the thing is that what people don't realize is when you apply pastel, it's kind of hard to show, but you get the paper, and you have the particles kind of sticking up like this. And if you spray too heavy of a coat of fixative on, what it does actually causes the particles to go bloop, and all those little nooks and crannies where the light was bouncing out go, and you don't get, it gets dull looking. So that's why a lot of
loses all its surface texture.
Right. So you have to be very, very careful, but sometimes you have to apply something to it. And pastel drawings were one of the few things where, unless there was some overriding reason for it, we wouldn't recommend any kind of framing plexi or acrylic for it, because plexiglass has one problem with it, and that is, especially in the summertime when it gets dry, it builds up a static charge, and you'll have little particle dust from the pastel drawing go whoop, and stick up to the actual glazing.
And there forever.
Right. Or worse, it falls down on the mat, which is why we usually would do a reverse bevel on if it was a single mat, or a reverse bevel on the inner mat of a double mat. So it kind of would act like a little rain gutter and hopefully catch it.
Yeah.
Because inevitably what would happen is if you had a dark mat, then light pastel color would come off and fall down and stick on. You'd see these little white specks. Or if you had a light color mat, then dark color pastel would come loose and it would leave little black specks. Just.
Yep. Yeah.
So Jarrell, you liking your Sweetie Bot?
Yeah, that's right. There was a second printing of Fall at Equestria. a.k.a. War and Peace done pony style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I consumed it as an audiobook. I forget the name of the guy that read it. He with the exception of singing, please don't sing. He did a pretty good job, but the audio quality was...
Could use improvement.
I've slowly been going through all of them and fixing them. Now I find out they're doing an official audiobook reading, so okay, fine. But yeah, that's how I consumed it. Time Lord, oh, you're sniffing giant Sharpies. Come on now, El Marco, that's the good stuff.
All I remember was I was very happy when they went away from xylene-based markers and went to the alcohol-based markers because that stuff is so much safer.
Oh, xylene's nasty.
Yes, it does horrible things to your nervous system.
Good night, Nightmare. Do you have the word Cordy-Yop on your forehead in mirror letters?
Yeah, you go get some sleep, Cat's Nightmare, before you do that.
Hyphen, give it to me.
Thank you for your support and everything, but don't get a concussion over it.
It's what we call pony bots in general.
Pony bots?
I think Pwnebot's just fine.
Bots.
Yeah, Pwnebot is fine.
Pwnebot. I can work a Pwnebot.
Android Lugians? I don't know. Let's see. Dorian, share.
Yes.
Photos.
Yes, please do.
Photos.
Yeah, generally, if you're an artist and you're in the chat, as long as it's safe for work and you don't bomb the chat with a quadrillion links, put links up.
Absolutely. We love other artists.
Right,
As long as it goes somewhere that is safe.
Yes, that's our only requirement. But I mean,
don't be too spammy. But
yeah, like I say, don't bomb the chat, with your links. But if you got a couple, go for it. I mean, Dusty Cat got me one of my first breaks. And sometimes just getting a break is what you need for folks to even know that you're out there. So go ahead.
It's all about discoverability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Pwnebot, best bot.
Yep. There you go. Let's see what we got here. Anybody else showed up that's new? Yeah, I think we're familiar faces now, or at least folks that have been here, at least since tonight.
I'm really, really happy considering the weather and everything that so many folks, of course, then maybe that's why they all decided to tune in tonight. It's like, I don't want to go out.
Yeah. Equinoid, well, that was 30-30. Well, that works, yeah. Bonafide version of the Hercules. Yeah, okay, fine. Bunch of Egyptian barbarian-looking guys. Yeah, sure, go ahead, Colonel.
Yeah.
Give us a link. Give us a link. Give us a link.
Because Colonel wants to get back into doing game streaming.
Yeah.
Actually, caught a couple of his last summer.
Yep. Rail, absolutely.
Yes.
Go for it. What substitute cutie mark? Well, you have a little. So the Pwnebots all actually have little, OLED screens on their hips, so they can put whatever they want there.
Yeah. It says 4 double A's. Let's see if I can pull this effect off the way I want to. Can I do this effect? Well, folks, you're going to find out.
Let's see.
Because I am inventing something right here on the fly.
A new technique you.
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of create that kind of, phase line effect of a monitor while still giving the effect looking like she has eyes.
Oh, scan lines?
Yeah, but then to do just right point of highlights and dark spots to make it look like Sweetie Bot's looking at you. Because she is.
Attention spots, yeah.
Yes, Voltron. One of the early points of my Dreamscape. Someone asked me to tell a story. Have you heard the story of Voltron?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't think of anything else.
I'll form the spleen.
Yes.
No pressure. Let's see what you got.
We should have Sony Watchman too. Eyes. Yeah. Yes, that's a good thing.
Sparkle matrix display, which actually that was a Apollo Equestria thing, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's look at it.
Where's my caffeine?
22 minutes left.
There's my caffeine. So yeah, you can make her all shiny
Yes.
to indicate the surface curvature.
Exactly. That's what we hope to do.
Epic battle between Celestia and Nightmare Moon. Well, let's take a look and see what it is that looks like.
Oh yeah, that thing I did that at BaronEngel. That was lots of fun because I had to figure out how to scramble the.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that is truly
Yes,
epic.
Epic.
Oh,
A battle
yeah.
for all times. Bards will sing of it.
Rehash of Flutterbat with much better looking. Let's see what we got. Fluttervamp. Yeah, wings are difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Baron actually ended up doing a whole bunch of studies just on that subject. Actually, didn't you put up a bunch of your
Yeah.
studies on wings and stuff like that on DA?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And
Do you have a separate category for basically instructional and development?
I don't. I should probably put a thing in for tutorials, but as far as like the bat wings go, if you go to my gallery called Critters, you'll find it in there. And I believe I put my stuff up I did for bird wings for studies. And of course, I did a lot of cases, in my Equestria Dreamscape of, okay, I want to go sit down in front of the mirror because I'm a Pegasus pony and open my wings up and stare at them for a long time and try to remember, okay, I have 5 primary feathers and I have this, we have 3 rows, and come back and then sketch it out when I wake up.
Okay, Colonel, my feedback is that the C and the L's, I think that you need to thin up a little bit the the thickness of the characters themselves. Make the strokes a bit thinner. So they're about as wide as they are on, say, the O and the N. Because otherwise the L's are a bit indistinct and the C is almost a blob. But otherwise it looks pretty good.
Oh, and per use of pieces, and they was that excellent.
Oh yeah.
If I can get the money together, I want to commission them to do a patina.
Let's see. There. In case folks don't know, Peruser of Pieces does some astonishingly good large-scale pony flush.
Yes. First quality stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the top, what would I say, top quality here. Let's see what we got here. Spin, spin, spin.
Also, too, a Colonel, you might want to, I know he's probably busy at the moment taking care of other things, but you also might want to talk to Cat's Paw since, typography is his livelihood.
Yeah, typography, say graphic design, layout, that kind of thing, yeah.
That's his thing. That's his lock, stock, and trade. Cat's Paw DTP, not just a handle.
It's the stock and trade. Deathlight, did that come from, like, say, of a like a section of a like a motorcycle rear fender, for like the drag bike style? That almost looks like it almost has the right curve for that. It's a mask he's working on.
Yeah, yes, Catspaw, but you're kind of like Jeff. You do know more about it than you sometimes give credit to yourself. And also, you may not be an expert on creating fonts, but you work with them often enough, and you know where things go awry occasionally. So, you have at least, based of, this is what I've seen in the real world down in the trenches experience, which sometimes is more valuable than the hypothetical.
Yeah. Yep, there we go.
Hey.
That was 100.
100?
Well, that includes people that aren't logged in.
Right,
or
yeah.
Or
Okay.
not not in the chat. Yeah. Can you
Hey,
tell me why Wingdings exist? Well, without it, there would be no baby fonts.
Yes. Tosia Nia. How you pronounce that again? I'm sorry. I'm horrible with names.
To see anymore.
Are you new?
Twasa.
If so, welcome.
Yeah.
My name's Baron. This is Cared1. We do this every other Saturday. Yep. If you're returning, welcome back.
He draws, I say stupid stuff and hit things with hammers. Yeah. Now, Wingdings, they are. It's a class of characters called ornaments, where they don't represent letters. They're just things that you would use in typography for decoration.
Welcome back.
Yep. There's a font, but it's not a typeface, which is not the same thing. Yeah, there you go. Courier or bust. Chicago.
Chicago manual style. The Chicago's your preferred holy book of layout, if I remember correctly, Catspaw. Is that not correct?
It is the standard.
I did love the Onion article they did a couple of years ago about the bloody Chicago manual style turf wars.
Yep. So apparently peaked at 105, including anonymous.
Okay.
Yeah. Still want to see 100 people. Say 100 people in the chat.
Yeah. Well, if we get 100 people in the chat, I'll think of something really amazing for folks.
Yep. Let's take a look at Cato's Ranger. Yeah, that's a Ranger, all right.
Chicago format kicked my ass in college history class.
Yeah. Well, it is a pretty strict guideline, but then again, that's kind of what it's for, is to be, okay, these are the rules. If you break the rules, do so from a position of knowledge.
Yes.
If you're going to break them good.
Born and raised in Chicago.
Uh-oh, let's see what Tossa does. That is quite nice.
Oh, interesting color contrast.
Yeah. Well, again, the face and the shadow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so you're good. You're good, lady. I just made an assumption. I know.
Yeah. But, it's great to have people actually in the chat who are also artists themselves, because that's something I really do encourage. Yeah. No one dad made me God.
Sweetie Bun's looking quite festive.
Yeah, she is.
Well, all the blinking lights are different colors.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about the right cutie mark.
What?
This is Angi's.
Yeah.
It goes ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching when you touch it.
Yep. You squeeze it just the right way. It makes old-fashioned cash register sounds.
Sweet. Closing the many tabs that were opened up. There we go. Good night, Rebel.
Yes. Glad you could drop by.
See you in 2 weeks, Mr. Reb. We'll see if I, in the interim, can kill off half the party. Let's see. If I go to here.
And hit this and that.
There we go. Me.
Daylight, actually, let's say several of Baron's live streams here have been tutorials, and they've been put up on Baron's YouTube account.
Yes. If you go to the Smudge Marks Angle Works, our website, we actually have a section for videos, and my wife has been slowly going through and processing out like all the intermissions and everything, so you don't have to sit around for 5 minutes wait for it to come back. And you don't need it there. You can just pause and use the bathroom whenever you feel like it.
There we go. Let's see here. What do we got?
But yeah, with the new year, I'll be doing some more kind of instructional type stuff where I'll be talking to folks. But I just wanted to kind of kick off New Year and get the ball rolling right by getting folks Patreon rewards done, because my patrons really are one of the things that helps even out the bills and make certain that the rent gets paid every month. So I can.
Monbai, you captured their personalities perfectly. That's character.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Yep. You need to get in the habit of drawing every day. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes. At least 15 minutes, even if you're just drawing your lunch in front of you.
Yeah.
And drawing simple shapes and stuff like that, there's a reason why your instructor, when you take art classes, puts that bowl of fruit out, not because they want to make you hungry or they hate you. There's actually a reasoning behind that. Is you're learning how to draw simple shapes before you start drawing complicated, complex shapes like this is, where there's a whole bunch of simple shapes combined.
Yep.
And then sometimes some not so simple shapes. You get the compound curves and everything.
Yeah. So, Monbai, I grew up on a ranch with Welsh ponies, and let me tell you that pretty much captures captures horse personalities. Yeah, see, horse personalities. I mean, some of them are jerks, some of them are nice, but they are all boorish. They're all ill-mannered, shall we say.
Come on, detach. Tell me about this new. I'm going to be switching probably brands of paper. I've got a new brand of paper. I'm going to probably next stream I'll be showing it off. It doesn't have some of these little quirks, which is like the eraser crumbs don't want to detach.
So Generic says, you mentioned you draw for 8 hours a day. Since you tend to post only one picture a day, 1 to 3 hours drawing work for the typical upload. What do you do for the other 4 to 7 hours a day?
Lots of research and doing study work and going back and forth with clients and everything like that. There is also, in between there, taking care of writing emails, doing posts and uploads, and writing too, actually. I should say I do a fair bit of writing now. I'm not the fastest writer in the world, and doing all these Streamscape postings takes some time. But my writing skills are slowly getting better, and my typing skills are getting even slower, but they're improving.
Yep. One of these days we'll talk to you about sentence fragments.
Yeah.
But yeah, your writing skills are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do that and put yourself on a budget of one descriptive phrase, like the amber-colored mare per posting, per character. Yeah, I know. I like my flowery phrases too.
I do it just because I have some people going. I have a lot of people who follow me on DeviantArt and on other places that don't follow the series, so they've never seen the characters.
Well, that's what your job is.
Yeah, so I have some kids like, "What's this character look like?" Well, let me describe it for you. It's like, watch the series. I don't want time to do that. Whatever.
Okay, fine.
Whatever, fine. And for me, it's also a case of trying to keep posts down to 1,200 words. Sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes it gotta go longer, but try to keep it 1,200 words. That basically decide what you need to write and cut out the cruff.
One of these days I will finish learning that.
Oh, you guys gonna cruise fine.
How to cook equestrians, or is this what equestrians cook? All right, see you later, Mr. Cato Pumpkin.
Yes.
Yep. It's okay, Daylight. Not to worry. Not to worry. We will not attempt to convert you.
Yeah.
We'll just say it's worth seeing, and we'll
leave it at that.
Yeah, it's worth seeing. Start from the beginning. Leave it at that.
Yeah. It's one of those things where if you try and force somebody to have to watch it, they're not going to like it.
Yep.
You have to want to watch it. If you don't want to watch it, there's a lot of things in this world I don't want to watch that other people are really, really keen on. So it's like, hey, fair's fair.
Santa wrote about 9 ways to serve venison. Well, that's just what say more reason for you to keep Cedric alive, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Sweetie Bot could use some body waxing? Of a sort different from the normal context of that, probably, but you know, get out that turtle wax,
The power in
get out that McGuire's, get out that Mother's.
get out the rotary buffer.
Yeah, woo! Shiny.
Yes.
Exactly, Deathlight. Exactly. Oh, let's see. Oh, what you got, Webster? Okay, there we go.
Yes, he's doing house
Yeah,
design.
yeah. The one. Okay, looking at that again, since I've actually had about 4 years of architecture and house drawing and house planning and things like that back in high school and junior college, looking at that and saying, okay, where's your load-bearing walls? That's fine. That's good. That's good. The one thing on the furniture is to make sure you leave enough room for people to move around it, particularly ponies, because they will sit like dogs, which means that they are longer, sticking out from the table or whatever it is, perpendicularly than a people. But yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Got your elevations on your house yet? We'll see those soon.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Look forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good layout. Make sure your doors open the right way. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. If you're looking for something to do roughs very, very quickly in, OpenOffice Draw is great for that. I do a lot of stuff in OpenOffice Draw. Actually, that's what I do the dungeon maps, which maybe I'll go grab a couple of those for show and tell in the next segment. Got about 5 minutes.
Yep. See if I get the tail and see if I actually get bulk of her all shaded.
Is Fluttershy the only main 6 character whose house has a thatched roof? Ah, let's see.
here.
Carousel Boutique, no. Rainbow Dash, of course, everything's made of clouds. Let's say Twilight.
Well, and
is a
actually,
castle.
Fluttershy's isn't true thatch. It's actually plant. It's green.
Yeah,
Green growth.
sod.
Yeah, it's like a sod roof.
Yeah,
not
or
thatch.
either that or thatch with moss growing.
Lots of moss.
Yeah, which will happen.
Yes.
If you let it go there. Isn't
Spit up here is shingle.
right? What is the roof of Brain?
Character.
Pinkies. Yeah.
Oh, the sugar cube. That's shingle.
Sugar Cube, yeah. Sugar Cube is shingle because I was
Yeah.
thinking it was thatch because there's a lot of that in Ponyville.
No, it is shingles because they're made to look like gingerbread.
Ah, okay, you're right. Okay, yeah. Well, say Time Lord. I'm going to send you a quick URL here. Okay. There you go. There you go, Time Lord. That is that's a couple of the world maps from my D&D game. So, wants to know who likes Downtime's Gaiki no Tsukai.
I haven't seen it, or played it, or anything. So I am completely unfamiliar with this.
Yep.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to feign ignorance. Enlighten me.
Oh yes, the Japanese game shows. Oh boy. Anyone want to know why the Apple Union Cloud Chaser was there for a scene?
Free food.
Probably. Either that, just throwing an extra pony, or married into the family.
Yeah, that's your possibility too. With her, free food.
Yeah.
That's one thing that'll draw ponies, at least in my dreamscape. If there's any possibility of getting a free meal.
Yep. So Time Lord, I'm going to give you a URL and that you're going to spend a huge amount of time with. That is Fantasy Map Generation website, incarnate.com with a K.
Oh, you're gonna send it there?
Yep, that's what that's what I made my maps, my overland maps with, and then I did all the labeling, the text work and all that. I did that in the GIMP. But we just got to see more of the fiddle playing apple family, the Octavia recolor.
Yes, Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks, yeah.
As the official name for her.
Yep. Those were apples together. That was still one of my favorite episodes. Again, I'm forgetting the episode names, but where they take the trip to meet Golden Delicious, and when
Pinky Apple Pie.
Pinky Apple Pie. Still one of my favorite because again the songs sticking in your head like glue. Yeah. Time Lord. You can get like a $29 license from them, which will let you, one, use your stuff commercially, and two, you get a good night. You get a greatly expanded set of objects and like mountain icons and crap like that, and you get double the resolution, like 2048 by 1536, I think it is, which is what I use as the basis for those maps. I just scale them up and then start dumping the objects on top of that.
Okay. There's a little bit of work I still need to do.
There you go. So roughs out his maps in Incarnate and then finishes them by hand. But yeah, Incarnate is great. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, it is 8:30. Why don't we?
It is. So how about I push this button?
All right,
here.
I basically got a little tiny bit of shading left on Sweetie there, and she'll be done.
Yep. Got a little shining.
A little bit shining. That's it. Yep. Just touch it up here and there and everywhere.
Yeah. Are you touching up?
Yes, I am. All right. You have a great evening.
Good night, Scoshi.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Can I say 2 weeks? Yeah, exactly. That's the exact same size that's my map. Maybe I'll go get one and I'll put it like here.
Scoshi, if you if you're still with us, you follow me on Twitter or on DeviantArt. I make announcements on Wednesday. I'm going to be streaming that week, and then I make an announcement the day of. So that's the best way to stay in touch and keep on track of what's going on.
Yeah. All right. So for the rest of us, we're going to take our 5-minute break. Let's see, for 5. And we'll be back for for the last segment, in which you'll be doing a piece for
Goldfur.
For Goldfur.
Yeah.
All right. We will see you in this many minutes.
Okay.
We are indeed back.
Back for the last hour.
Indeed. Yeah. And the jokes are hurting. The jokes are hurting, let me tell you.
Buffering.
Yeah, no, buffer? Yeah. Sweetie Bot, you can buffer a reel?
I think Jarrell's going to be happy with his Sweetie Bot, it sounds like.
I think so.
Yeah.
Fire the Fruiton torpedoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the nice little angle right here.
Yeah. Speaking of maps, in fact, this is one of the maps for the game that we're...
Yeah. I'll put up a link in a little bit, but I'll warn you that's to the print-ready version, which is 90 megs just for this image. But this is they were right about down here where it says Sea of Sand, which you can't quite see.
Where we are now?
Not on this map.
Yeah, nope. I think we're off the term off the map comes to mind.
Yeah. All righty. So
okay.
We have
sweet.
Indeed. one more hour, during which we are doing stuff for...
I'm doing anything for Goldfur. I don't know, is Goldfur in the chat still?
Goldfur. I don't see a Goldfur. I don't see a
Oh,
Goldfur.
Goldfur.
There's a Goldfur.
Okay, yeah. I work. Yes, I need to work on. I need to finish up some more stuff for him, so I need to get back to finishing that up.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
What do your elven eyes see? I see unwashed masses of humanity about me. Should teach them sanitation. They have to live in this way. Perhaps this is why they only live for 60 or 70 years.
Nazumi makes a great reference.
Yes, his neighbors are stuck in a strange storm. We're in Philadelphia, apparently.
So yeah, there's a lot of mountains. It is a very mountainous part of the world.
Yep, yeah, that part of the world, absolutely, yeah. Now, what you got here, you got the Seven Kingdoms right here, which is where most of the characters are from. You got your Sea of Sand, and way down, I'm sorry.
And Toxic is here.
Hey, Toxic. Yeah, and
this is our vacation.
Yeah, there
year.
You go. What I did on my summer vacation. Yeah, and we can actually even see you guys. See, you guys are right there.
It's like one of those, like MC Escher where it's like reflections of
right
the
there.
reflection
That's
thing.
you guys right there. That's so. Hey, Tox. So and Puckster. Hey,
yeah, Puckster, are you new?
No, Puckster's been around.
Oh, Puckster's been around. Okay,
Puckster's absolutely been around.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Looking to see if anybody else here has showed up who is new.
All right.
And the answer appears to be the Snalf. Have you been here before, Snalf?
Yes.
If not, well, welcome.
Yes.
So then, welcome back.
And by the way,
there.
since I happen to see him in the chat and everything, or at least as far as the list there, Happy New Year, Tebow.
Mm-hmm. Every time Toxic comes to the channel, everyone should hear Britney Spears in their head. You leave Britney. Okay, right. Alrighty.
Okay.
So, you ready to go on?
Yeah, I'm ready to roll. Let me change my glasses here back to my studio glasses. Haha, can't yell at me.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so you vacationed in the mountains.
Well, they make vacation in the desert.
Yeah.
But
now he's going to be possibly vacationing on another realm, for all I can tell.
Sort of.
Like I said, off the map is the word that comes to mind. I've got a funny feeling part of it's going to involve us needing to get that book back.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe good, maybe bad.
Well, Powerball didn't work out, so I guess I have to keep your job. Do we know if anyone won? It was up over $500 million again.
Yeah, it's 450. Apparently one ticket was issued.
Yeah. Why can't anybody make a world map without a vast desert? Well, because they're modeling things on Earth, and on Earth about 20 to 30% of the land area is vast deserts of one stripe or another.
Mm-hmm.
The other, although the most, as far as by area is concerned, the number one biome, style of environment in the world, of course, is the oceans. Number two is boreal forest, the northern forest, all across northern Canada and almost all of Russia. It's called the taiga, T-A-I-G-A, and that is the number two largest biome in the world. Number three is deserts. The stuff that we think about, rainforest, normal, we consider temperate forests, grasslands. Those are a relatively small percentage of the world. That's just where people tend to do best.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, who I need to work on here, I've done Bum, Cinder, I think I need to do Warring Cogs is one of the people I still need to do for his lineup. So I'm going to work on Warring Cogs. It's one of his Quantum Team Quantum. Correct me if I pronounced that wrong, Jackat. New inbox. Check the seals.
What is the most, Toxic says, what's the most I ever spent on, and won on a lotto scratch ticket? I've spent $5 a few times. Biggest I ever won was $100. But mostly the lotto is, well, again, it's the lowest paying game in the casino, like Keno. The house has the greatest advantage. So I mean, I will buy generally once in a while, like $1 or $2 worth of tickets, when it hits $1 billion, type of thing, just for entertainment. But otherwise, not really. Russian taiga, not to be confused with Siberian tiger. Yeah. Although Siberian tiger is in the Russian taiga, so there you go. It's a tiger.
And both of them will kill you if you're not careful.
Yeah. Just make sure you spend the lotto tickets you buy are on your entertainment budget. Yeah. Or as Jeff Foxworthy says, sophisticated people invest in mutual funds. Rednecks invest in the lottery. So, like I said, take it out of your entertainment budget and you're cool.
Yeah. Not out of your kid's college fund.
Yeah. So where did they go? Okay, they started off in. Okay, you need to look at, if you look. They started off in Gildenhall, and the dark gold areas you see on that map.
Good night, Sarah.
Good night, Sarah.
See you in 2 weeks.
Those are the mage wastes. Those are places basically you don't go unless you are high level types with lots and lots of dispel magic and other and protection from elements type.
Or a
of
death
stuff.
wish.
Or a death wish, yeah. So they started from Gildenhall. They crossed, they crossed the just to the north of the Mage Waste, and then headed down into the Sea of Sand. Right by the letter N in the Sea of Sand was where their first oasis was located. That's the Carvan, and that was where they had trouble. They were heading for Saruman. They were going to skirt the edge of the Earthblood Mountains just to the north, and hook up with the the River of Kings to the north of Saruman, and then follow it down and in. But well, the best laid plans.
And I was hoping to have this Lawrence of Arabia type, Cleopatra type adventure for my servant character, but no.
That will be later. That will be later. Unless, of course, you guys decide to go. Well, okay, never mind. You'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
Charles Branson, 44 Automag, Death Wish. Hey, you punk, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My 401k file 401,000 lottery tickets. How to make a small fortune in lotto? Start with a large fortune. But yeah. Now, again, take it from your entertainment budget. It's your Las Vegas money.
Yep.
But everyone needs a wooden pole of hope. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the real product of the lotto, is brief flashes of hope. And once in a while it happens. So,
As long as you realize it's a long shot.
Yep, exactly. Now, the time where I'm particularly proud of the way the Seven Kingdoms map turned out.
That's the one spot you spent the most time on, actually.
Actually, I spent the most time just roughing out the world. What were the major areas I wanted, and why are they there? What's the geology there? What's the archaeology? How does it have to do with the magic structure of the world there? Like Dragon Lake is a rift lake. It's like Lake Baikal or Lake Tanganyika or Lake Malawi, in Africa. Very, very long and skinny, very deep. Lake Baikal here on Earth in Siberia is almost 5,000 feet deep. It's the deepest lake in the world. And it has like 20% of all the world's fresh water is bound up in that one lake. Dragon Lake is smaller than that and not quite that deep, but, it's still, it goes way down there.
And I've seen that they've actually gone out with longboats and tried dropping lines to see how far it goes. And, the line came back up and it was chewed on.
Well, some of them came there. Otherwise, others they just had 1,000 feet of rope and it didn't touch the bottom in many places. So, Baron Care from Twitter about your D&D nights. Have you ever guys played D&D? Yeah, okay. Oh, the longest single session of D&D I ever spent, and the longest duration campaign. Well, let's see. 3 years for the high school / junior college campaign. 4 years for the one in college. We ran for what, three and a half years. The one back.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 3 years.
Yeah.
So generally 3 to 3.5 years is about how long most of my campaigns run.
And my longest, not D&D, but RuneQuest was about 3 years. And longest single session game I played was about 18 hours in college.
Yeah. I've done a couple of 12 hours, but that was way back in college. Yeah, say these days. I mean, I'm good to go 6-7 hour sessions, but but not all my players are. You know, someone or another will usually start to lose gas around 4 hours.
Also, too, we've learned a little bit about how yeah, we was on a 12-hour gaming session. How much I was actually gaming. So we've gotten pretty good about cutting things out and okay, let's get the party rolling here. Yeah, 18 hours it was, and that actually was a pretty solid stretch of real, actual gaming. I had to GM it.
Yeah.
That was oodles of fun. My obligation was all food and drink were provided for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you that is the single greatest gift that you can give to a game master is letting them play instead of game master. Mm-hmm. You will have a friend for life.
Mm-hmm. But it was a case that we were going to get something done because someone was going to be leaving a town, and it was not certain whether they were ever going to come back, and we wanted to resolve something. I said, okay, well, this would take about usually the equivalent of like 2 to 3 game sessions to finish it, but we can crunch it all out over Memorial Day weekend, and we did.
Yep. Yeah, actually, Catspaw, I think the only other isn't the only other D&D game that you ever played actual Dungeons and Dragons was the previous one that I ran back in.
I played some 3rd edition in college, but I never found a good group. It was more not that I didn't like the game, I just never found a D&D gaming group that I liked. The dynamics of the players,
Yeah.
which is a big thing for me.
Oh yeah. Well, again, yeah, it's classic. You come for the game, you stay for the people.
Right,
You
and
know,
the people weren't worth staying for.
yeah. Yeah.
And I had a couple bad experiences with player killer GMs and D&D.
The ones that saw it as a contest between the GM. The thing is, the GM can kill the players by saying the game's over, or Thor comes down and smites you all.
Yeah.
What kind of wankery,
Yeah.
Or hey, your first level, you find a beholder,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no. I just don't see the point of that. Now, for me, it's all about cooperative storytelling, where the DM takes care of the setting and most of the plot, and the players, they're the characters, and the real authors of the story ultimately, it's more the players than it is the DM. Because people don't go away from a D&D game and brag about it to their friends talking about the setting. They talk about what their characters did. It's not, hey, we found this incredibly tall mountain. It's, yeah, my character took on this, hive of mind flayers, and I was able to get out of it because I made an alliance with the Drow, even though the Drow were, were themselves, having problems with, and
Yeah.
Again, it's what your characters do, not the setting in which they did it, that drives what you remember.
Mm-hmm.
So one's an enabler, the other is the actual star of the show.
Mm-hmm.
What is the current D&D campaign we're in right now? That's the one that I'm running. That's like I said, 6 players, which is for me is a pretty large group.
I was kind of surprised you were willing to take on 6.
Well, I've been dungeon mastering since I was 14.
Yeah, I know, but
it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I've got good players.
This is true. You got a good. You don't have any don't be the dick players.
Yeah. Jarrell's commenting. It's remember when Dungeons and Dragons had hobbits as opposed to halflings?
Yes.
That was before the lawyers said try again.
Mm-hmm.
So most of D&D Pathfinder winds up in combat. Combat then RP needs more RP to show how it's done. Pathfinder is really, it's a more tactical game than particularly Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, but to a lesser extent 4th edition. It's a little bit more wargamey, so it's going to tend to encourage that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't the game Neverwinter Nights have a real-time GM feature? They had a feature. Yes, you could run your own server. We're not talking about the MMO, Neverwinter Nights. We're talking about much older than that. But you could design your own world and lay out the tiles and the buildings and all that stuff there. It could do that. It was just kind of clunky.
Good night, Mithril. See you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, there you go. Your first level players find the brothel of delights and all quickly die of STDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Rivercoon GM to Tomb of Horrors. The hardest part was trying to keep the characters alive. Tomb of Horrors was designed to kill players. It was originally done by Gary Gygax because his players were bragging about how indestructible they were. He says, okay, mothers, I'll show you. It is a classic. Everyone should play it at least once, but it doesn't count if your characters die.
You wake up, it was a whole dream.
Yeah. Okay, Mithril, so we will see you in 2 weeks. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good to have you here. Yep. As a Foxfire, of course, I was one of those role players. Oh, those. Man, I hate those. Always talking about characterization and, what color their character's hair is. Oh, man, those guys. The only thing we care about is how many points of damage you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I recommend you and the others check this out. Okay, we'll look later. Yeah. When D&D campaigns are done, what would you consider my favorite D&D game?
Like I said, I haven't played a huge number of D&D games, so I don't have a big. I see. RuneQuest was the main one in college I played, and we had some really.
Yeah. I think he means campaign, but yeah.
Yeah. Still, just that was one I played the most of, and we had some really good ones up in the Lunar Empire.
Nice.
Which went for a while and got messy and ended up being, well, this is being ambiguous. Are we on the good side or the bad side? I can't tell.
Yeah. My favorites to run. Well, again, this one, I'm excluding the current campaign because it's way too new. It would be a tie between the one I ran in college and which, oddly enough, had Doug, one of the guys that's in the current game, and the game that I ran previous to this, the one that Baron was in as Saik and Dave was in as Woodsmoke. That was a good game. We had some good role players there.
Yeah, the Wolf Fang Shaman.
Trendane, Paul, Dusty. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I ran out. It was you. It was you. It was. Yeah. Jerry, was it? Were you in the game that I ran that had Jerry Perkins in it? Let's say way back over at the Golden Dew House.
No, I was not.
That had Copper Cheetah. That had Jareth. That had Dusty. I think.
Nope, I was not involved in that one.
Did it have Dusty in that one? Yeah. But it had Johnny in it. That had Jerry Perkins. I think Dusty was in it. Yeah.
I heard about that game, but I did not actually participate in that one.
Yeah. Well, I'm recycling a couple of things in it, so maybe. Let's see.
Well, that's great. It'll be all completely new, and I'm going, hey, wait a minute, I've seen this before.
Yeah. Let's see. So that one only went for about a year and a half.
I have to admit, Catspaw's been going through and reworking the Ponytails game. And of course, we'll have to need to roll up new characters, but at least rework them again. But I'd like to play Windshear again. Windshear was fun to play.
And I need to get back into Calvados skiing.
Yes.
Calvados is just too much fun to play.
Yes, I enjoyed Windshear. Windshear let me play a lunatic.
He says that he learned that RPGs existed from Dexter's Laboratory. Yeah, exactly, Time Lord. Everyone has to buy into it, and it has to be a safe space.
Right.
Again, maybe you're not the very best voice actor in the world, but you want to get in voice or get in character or even show up in a costume. Do it. But that needs to be. Everyone needs to have at least bought into that and no mockery. Because that will shatter things. And that includes nobody no roommates walking through and go, hey, you guys still playing that's dragons and elves game? Take them out and bury them in a shallow grave. It's very fragile, but when it works, there ain't nothing like it. It is when Dexter was a GM and a royal a-hole until Dee Dee takes over and makes it enjoyable. Yeah, I remember that episode. Yeah, she turned it into a funhouse dungeon. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see Ramping Points. And I still need to finish the Isotopes of Harmony.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I've drawn Blue Streak. Okay. Well, I think I need to do that character too anyway. So,
Is this a doe?
this is a doe. Baron's done a doe. I'm looking at the wrong reference.
And no, Windows, I do not want you to
Update now.
to update right in the middle of the show on the encoder machine. I think not. I think the answer is go away.
You can wait another 30 minutes.
Yeah, say toxic? Absolutely. Absolutely. Some people will do that once in a while. And, okay, let me put it this way. Go watch some of the Acquisitions Incorporated live stream D&D, which is, it's the creators of Penny Arcade and a couple of famous authors. Usually they'll have a guest like Will Wheaton. And it's DM'd by one of the authors of Dungeons and Dragons, and it's held at the PAX gaming conventions. And when it's the ones that are held at the say like the big one up in Seattle, they've got a budget. Mm-hmm. They have everybody shows up in costumes that are their characters. Chris Perkins, the DM, will show up in some kind of evil necromancer thing. There'll be special effects. There'll be these absolutely beautiful miniature
Green flames.
Green flames. Yeah, there's these absolutely beautiful miniature dioramas that are the setting for whatever it is they're doing, and it's magic. Yeah. Plug time soon, Toxic. Soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. DM, I do my damnedest to put on a show with the voices and set dressing. I throw myself into the belief that it's your job to, as a person, disappear. Yes, you are the player's senses. Mm-hmm. You are their eyes. You are their ears. You are their noses. And the other thing is you are the host of the world. Again, you're the world server, as it were. Mm-hmm. But again, the less the interpersonal stuff between DM and players, and the more it's the NPCs and the world and the players, the better. Yeah,
basically what you're looking for is the concept immersion.
You got it. Oh yeah, of course Matt Mercer. Yeah, Matt Mercer's my current man crush. Now he puts on a fantastic game. Of course, he has professional actors and voice actors as his players, and they get into it. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, do they get into it? The whole Critical Role thing, which by the way is starting up again next Wednesday.
They're back from a honeymoon? As one player?
Well, the thing is, the campaign ended.
Yeah, but the one guy was getting married, and when his wife wanted to have a honeymoon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that too. They had a break. By the way, Matt's put out a book called for a setting called Tal'Dorei, which I have not bought because the Roll20 game that I'm participating in starting tomorrow, hooray, is set in that. Is set there. So I'm going to get to explore Matt Mercer's world. Hooray!
Yay!
Yeah, with my snotty half-elven, high-elven half-elf, not one of those half-breeds. No. Why would you do that? Yeah, but I get to play that tomorrow. Hey!
Congrats! Let me know
I'm
how
an
it
Eldritch
goes.
Knight. But yeah, the new Critical Role, the new season starts. I think next Wednesday. Go take a look at Geek and Sundry. They're going to be bragging about it, and it's going to be so well attended as far as I'm going to try and watch it live. Mm-hmm. And again,
they're long too.
Well, yeah. Again, they're full sessions.
Yeah.
You get to see every moment of their session, of their game sessions.
Yep.
And so they're 3-4 hours a piece. Mm-hmm. And I think the campaign, it actually started before it was just their campaign. It's like, well, how about we start streaming it? And they had over 100 episodes that averaged 3.5-4 hours a piece. Mm-hmm. It was pretty much the entire campaign. You saw every moment of it. Mm-hmm.
Including Matt Colville's observation about the final.
Oh yeah.
which was very interesting.
Oh yeah.
This kind of thing doesn't happen in my games, but this was amazing.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing when you see it. Yeah, again, it's sort of the standard against against which all the other online Dungeons and Dragons advice people are being measured, which is where there's this one guy, Dawnforge Cast, is just trying to tear it down. It's like, go away, you butthole. Well, I was starting to talk to you about after the stream because I don't want it recorded. I did a thing.
You did a thing, right?
I did a
Okay,
thing.
later.
And and Matt Colville, who is the head writer over at Turtle Rock Studios, he does all of the world building and stuff like that for a bunch of video games. I think Evolve was his most recent big one. He is. You can tell that he is a video game designer in the way that he describes his games. He's all about the politics and the factions and the intrigue, not so much about the role playing of the
Okay, check out, what do his shoes look like? Because I don't have any reference for those. So I would need to know what those look like. Could you possibly send me a link?
Yep.
If I have a link, I can put the shoes on.
Yep. Yep. And actually, Matt Colville, who is very much this, very much this, he's a classic engineer personality. But he was talking about his own games. He was talking about Critical Role, and I'm going to give away nothing about the final moments there. Let's say it was a very emotional moment. And he said, and he showed it, and he pointed out, here's what was going on under the surface. Here's what you may have missed. And then he pauses for a long moment, and he says, that would never happen in one of my games. And that's because he runs tactical, strategic games where it's all about your influence on the politics of the world, etc. But the look on Colville's face when he said, I could never do that.
So I'm gonna run. Okay, so kind of like track shoes or something like that. Okay, we can do something.
Yep. Yeah. The look on his face, he said, I could never do that. You could tell that the back of his head, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
But again, Matt Mercer is all about story and character and emotion, and it comes through.
And since he has basically voice actors and actresses on his
who are not afraid to dive into the role and stay there.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they relatively low check at, or are they like going like say about as far as I got them here, or do they go higher up the leg? I'll shade on other parts here in the meantime. Waiting for an answer.
Yep. While we're waiting for an answer, there's a thing that I'm going to do.
Yeah, so we have to take care of our hourly responsibility.
We're going to take care of our duty to our sponsor because it looks like
low. So lower than I got them right now? Lower than this?
There we go.
And do they lace up or anything like that?
Shoes with little wings on them. Buy out a small town and rent it out to hardcore LARPers for weeks at a time.
Sounds like something they do in Russia.
Well, there's a couple places in Russia where they've old abandoned missile bases. They've gotten permission from the local law enforcement, and army, to go do Fallout LARP, for a week at a time. The Russians love Fallout, particularly Fallout 3. But in the meantime, look up a picture of actual horse sneakers. Maybe they exist.
They do.
Yep.
And that's what I'm kind of drawing here.
Yep.
From what I remember.
Yeah, there you go. But in the meantime, if you need supplies that aren't horse sneakers, but are artistic nonetheless, where would you go? Well, you'd go to University Art, which is a high-end art supplies store and framing shop with outlets in Sacramento and Redwood City in San Jose, California. They have a very knowledgeable staff, all of whom are artists themselves, none of whom are on commission, so they will give you an honest evaluation of what you need, and not the most expensive thing, just what you yourself need. And they know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. Their framing shop is first rate, again, museum quality. Museums, in fact, come to them. Mm-hmm. And they have handled original Picassos, original Rembrandts, original Alfred Durays. They have framed Nobel Prize Award letters, again, some really valuable stuff. There's stuff where the guy shows up and there's an armed guard. They also offer seminars and workshops and demonstrations, craft fairs, the whole bit. It's just a good place to go if you want to Be an artist among artists.
Which I'm hoping to once again to do the You Create Day again this May at the San Jose University Art like I did last year. In fact, I might do San Jose and Redwood City.
Why not?
Well, they actually wanted me. They didn't convey that they wanted me to. I've got made plans for next day. Oh, okay.
You shouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
But now here's your chance to say something there. So we want to say thank you to University Art because they keep Baron supplied with art supplies and occasionally loan us employees, to be artistic on as guests on the show, which is a fantastic thing. So thank you guys very much. And hi, Mike. Hi, Jeff. In case you're lurking. And we will have more to say about you in the next show as well. In the meantime, bam, bam. Whoop, wrong bam.
Wrong bam.
Yeah. There we go.
We get the right bam there.
Right, bam. And duty is done.
Completed.
Yep.
It was amusing last weekend when I was putting up the Spitfire dress uniform piece and having Captain Spitfire on Twitter going,
Yeah. Oh, by the way, folks, if you are interested in getting some custom miniatures done, I'm also a completely unpaid plug here, heroforge.com. HEROFORGE.com.
Yes.
Has a character designer. What they do is they do custom miniatures, which are then 3D printed by Shapeways. And let's say they've got a library of hundreds and hundreds of different articles of clothing, different types of swords, etc. Dozens of different poses, a whole bunch of different base body types. You can again, human, dwarf, robot. They have hooved critters, which you can make deer out of, and you can make tauren and minotaurs out of. They have paw feet, so you can make cats and canines. They even have like eagle head models and things like that if you want to go all Egyptian, or even make a griffin. And then you design it, and then you can send it off to get 3D printed. And I got some of the guys in the group, that have miniature, like Baron's character is a deer dude. You don't find too many deer dudes down in miniature stores. Humans and dwarves and elves, sure, not deer dudes. So I got him one custom printed. I got a custom printed one for Cat's Paw's character, and another one for Dusty's character, and they came out beautiful.
Yep.
Holy crap, they came out great.
I just get mine painted up. You're going to probably have to buy a pair of magnifiers.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Derp.
Derp, derpy, derp. Herpa, derpa, derp.
Hey, Goldfur, one question. Are they light shoes or dark shoes?
Here we go. Clickety click. By the magic of friendship. Let's see. Where's the clickety click? There's a clickety click. Come here, clickety click.
Clickety click.
Clickety click. Come here, clickety.
Hey, no, you don't go shutting down. You have enough power.
Come on, you. There. Ah, there we go. No, that's the same one. Okay. Yeah. Time Lord. Again, you can. So you can get again cloven hoofed critters. The say the minotaur faces you can sort of sculpt around a little bit, make them deer face, or maybe even equine if you look at it. So if you set it up just right, they have canine and they have feline. So you got quite a bit of variety that you can get. Let's see. Oh, hello, Trapcake. Yeah, let's see. Do we have anybody else that's new? I'm going to go through and make a quick pass through.
Yes.
Hello, Trapcake. I think you're new. So, well.
Yes.
Welcome. If not, welcome. Oh, the irony. Are you new? Or is it, this is your return?
Oh, hello, Trapcake. Are you first time here or are you returning?
Yeah. Let's see. Who else we got? Waiting to get verified, waiting for the email. That's all good, Trapcake. And not to worry. We let Anarcho. Hello, Anarcho. Welcome to the welcome to the stream.
Well, welcome, Trapgate. This is on the last hour, basically. We're going to wrap it up at 9:30. I do this every other Saturday. Starts at 5:30 Pacific time. And
Goes
right
for
till 9:30.
4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep. And tonight I'm working on Patreon rewards for my patrons.
And Toxic has a question. Favorite board game? That's hard to say because I like board games, but I don't play very many of them. Hard to get a group together of the right mindset because the folks I know that play board games, most of them are war gamers, and that eats up a lot of time.
I have to admit, I haven't played it a lot of times, but Circus Maximus, which is a game that Catspaw has,
Yeah,
it
Circus-
is great.
Back when I was doing war gaming, it was Richthofen's War and Panzerblitz and Third Reich. The modern style games, of course, Settlers of Catan and all of its variants is always a lot of fun. There are some very complex modern games like Betrayal on House of the Hill. I would love to play that. But getting people that are of interest, of a mindset to do that is hard to do. I would love to try Pandemic. But again, that also is a game that that a particular pandemic outbreak is a campaign. And getting people that would be interested in doing it, would commit to doing it, and would not collide with my other commitments. Not so easy.
I had to admit, one of the games that, two of the games we got for Christmas, they're card games more than anything. But they sound interesting. Is Braggart and Dragon Horde.
Toxic, if you go look up the Will Wheaton's tabletop channel on the Geek and Sundry YouTube, or geekandsundry.com, they play Betrayal at House on the Hill. It's a very complex game, but it's a lot of fun.
Settlers of Catan is lots of fun. The only problem about Settlers of Catan is bricks.
Yeah, not no
Bricks. They should call it Brickmaster because it seems like, especially for the first hour and a half of the game's like, I need another brick. Is anyone got a damn brick? No.
Well, that usually happens because you need bricks early in the game. You need other stuff late in the game, and if you're unlucky and the bricks are on 4 or 11, it's going to be that way. If they're on 6 and 8, it's going to be too many damn bricks. But the Settlers of Catan, yeah,
that or you end up with the stupid bandit showing up on top of your bricks. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Banish the bandit to the desert.
Yeah. The Blackbird wants to know if you've ever drawn Derpy. Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Quite a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the way to end friendships is called diplomacy.
Yes.
There's a game called Diplomacy where where it's all about making deals and then eventually lying. Because it's what you write down. It's not what you say that matters. No dice involved. And what you wrote down, that's what you want to do. And again, it is a game of backstabbing, and sooner or later, you're gonna backstab your friend, or your friend's gonna backstab you, and it's gonna hurt.
Well, Henry Kissinger thought it was a good game for learning power
politics, real politics. Yeah. Power for the sake of power.
Yep. And it's like, okay, if Henry Kissinger's giving this, okay, that says a lot right there about the game. I played it a couple times in college, and yes, it's amazing. If you're not careful and don't go in with the right mindset, you can end up just learning to hate someone's guts because you take it personal.
Yeah.
When France suddenly betrays you to the Germans.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
Yeah. Yeah, and God help you if you draw the Italians as your case.
Oh yeah.
With the Italians, you can achieve your mental victory conditions if you last beyond year 3.
Yeah.
Because usually France and France, Austria, Hungary, and Turkey will just carve you up, like dinner.
Yep. Yeah, it was France betrayed. I was playing the Great Britain, and France betrayed me. I moved my forces someplace. And went, oh,
yeah,
you nasty person.
Yeah. Sounds like EVE Online. Oh God, I was in EVE back when it was in beta. Yeah. I still remember the glory days of the say of the war between Jade Constantine and Ragnar. Ragnar, it was a CEO of a moderate-sized company in real life, and this was his relaxed game. And he says, "I wonder if I do if I play if I do my deal making, and all that stuff there. If what I learned in business school and all that applies here. It's not about the economy. It's all about deal making and market timing and when it's time to say, okay, I'm going to break the alliance, and go out. And he built up this huge empire. It was all a huge house of cards, which frankly most corporations are. But again, it's like currency is worth something not because it has gold backing it, but because we say it does, and everybody agrees that. So how do you get that agreement? And there came a huge war in Eve where it's all player versus player, and guilds are called corporations in the game, and and they eventually took down Ragnar. He says, okay, I have to get back to my real life now. I am the CEO of a company that I have to have responsibilities to.
My board directors are glaring at me.
Yes, but he says, yeah, this stuff is absolutely applicable. So it was amazing times watching that. I was very much on the sidelines. It's like, oh, that's a war zone. I'm not going there.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Of course, that's where you get rich quick.
It's where you die quick too.
Yeah, exactly. What's your taste for risk?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And then, of course, there was the Band of Brothers, which emptied out, where they had a spy, basically. Somebody had a character in somebody else's guild or a corporation, and just one day, over a period of a year, had become a position of great trust, was essentially on what amounts to on their high council, had access to all of their funds and all of their blueprints and and he emptied them out one day. Took like 90% of their wealth and ran. Oh my God, what a betrayal. Of course, everybody goes to the developers and says, developers, he did this. And the developers are like, yeah, ain't it cool? So, but yeah, it's totally allowed. Eve is a very Machiavellian, very Venetian merchant princes kind of thing,
Yep.
Hold your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah, Catspaw's correct. Russian Civil War is it does a very good job of capturing the chaotic conditions of the Civil War, and a certain amount of, why are we here? We're interventionist forces. Why are we here? What are we doing?
Yep.
Can I just go home?
Yep. He's traitors to motherland. He's a bunch of gopniks. They're coming at your Semchki.
Yeah.
I have never seen one who can outsmart a bullet. Yeah. Some people say I am not too bright.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was Warface was the latest video I was watching of Boris where he was playing it. He says, I am Boris, the bullet dispenser.
Yeah.
And he was actually pretty good. I have to admit, I was watching. Okay, he's
a gamer. It's what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot where
see you later, 1584 Muck.
Yeah, where he's he's just kind of goofing around. But it's like when he's like, okay, yeah, you know how to run in a first-person shooter.
So you get good or you get dead.
Yes.
In home country, we have one chair, and we share it. If you miss your time to sit on chair, you sit on floor. Yeah, very nice.
Or squat.
Yeah. Why do gopniks squat? Well, there's not enough seats in prison, Yes. So Toxic says, if you're not playing a specific game, what is your favorite game to observe? I do like watching, good players play D&D, so I enjoy some of those online streams. Mm-hmm. But I would say it's more about who is playing rather than what they're playing.
Right. I mean, if you got good players, they can be playing almost anything and make it interesting.
Mm. Yeah, well, again, I like the Will Wheaton tabletop games just because they make it really entertaining, and I learn enough about the games to decide whether or not I want to buy it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have the one I would like to play at some point is Sheriff of Nottingham.
Oh yeah, we played that a few nights ago. Yeah, I've got a copy here. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Braggart. There's a certain amount of BSing your way through problems.
Yeah. Yeah, Magic the Gathering is all about slowly stacking and building resources and bringing everything to bear at once. Yeah, and you don't know what the other guy's deck is. Hearthstone from Blizzard is a similar type of game, except it's all online. Again, it's free to play. There are microtransactions funded, but you can play the game and have a lot of fun and never spend $1. Now, if you want to be competitive, well, then you're going to be spending money. That's fine, you know. But again, if you're going to be competitive at anything, you're going to have to spend money.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you don't have to. You know, so you don't have to spend any money. You don't even have to necessarily play against another player. You can play against a computer. You know, and it's a good example of that type of collectible card game. Now, in real life, I would never play collectible card games because I do not want to, you know, be in the endless wallet-burning hunt for rare cards and crap like that. That doesn't sound like fun to me. For others, it's crack. But for me, no, not so much.
Nope, 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 nope.
Yeah.
Let me get this all finished up here. All shaded and everything.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah.
It is one thing, if you've played only video games, it can be a little bit hard when you're getting into a classic pencil and paper style RPG at first because you've got to kind of build it all in your mind.
Yep.
Even with the maps and the miniatures and everything, you've got to kind of create and hold this image of what the world is.
Yeah. Actually, something Kellenen points out, MLP, collectible card game. At first, of course, everybody who plays that kind of game, who's an MLP fan, is going to be all over it. But a bunch of folks who are into these games and kind of poo-poo, oh, it's pony themed, oh, it's got to be super, simple and super stupid. No, they're finding out it's a really well-designed game.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people that are playing it that would never, ever
watch the series.
Yeah, they wouldn't, because they're completely, totally not into it. But they're into the game because the game itself is really well-designed. Enterplay did a good job.
Yeah. Now, that being said, Twilight Sparkle's Secret Ship Fic.
Yeah, well, that's very
hilarious.
Different.
Yeah. The very opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah. Warcraft before it evolved into World of Warcraft. Well, yeah, that's basically StarCraft. Yeah, all the craft games, the national religions of South Korea. Yeah, the whole 4X player versus player thing. Explore, expand, exploit, exterminate.
Okay.
Yep. Cards Against Humanity Online. Yeah, there's a bunch of servers that do that. I have my own deck that I have. Well, there's Cards Against Equinity. What I have is Cards Against Humanity, and they're all cards of my own design. Which I actually need to go. Actually, I've got about another 150 card ideas that I need to get sent out to print up.
You give them time for BabsCon.
Yeah. No, Roan is actually it's a classic role playing game, not a collectible card game.
Right, and the
lots and lots of dice, and there will be a demo at BabsCon.
Yes, there will be a demo at BabsCon. We'll also have a table at BabsCon. We should have a panel at BabsCon, and with any luck, if I understand what Clear Sky's goal is that he's going to have the book written, edited by May of this year, and then we're going to go start moving forward with getting that thing ready for getting artwork and getting that thing funded. And so maybe at the end of this year, we're going to have to see whether or not we can get the funding, get the artwork, pay everybody, and take care of it all in the same calendar year so it doesn't be left on Robert's books as far as his bookkeeping goes.
Give us a time. It is 9:26.
I'm just about done here.
Yeah.
Got the shading in, everything. Pretty good. I've actually figured out some techniques now for doing shading pretty quickly. It gets me some nice dynamic lighting and everything to it.
Okay, so before we go, what is the worst board tabletop games you just dread when people play it? Anything where it is 100% resulting on the dice and there's no strategy. Just no attraction to me at all.
I think for me it's Monopoly. Only because I've had to play it so many times.
Yeah, well, in Monopoly, I want the orange ones. Yeah. Of course, when it comes down to board games, it's like what was my ultimate board game used to be chess. I was president of the high school chess club, and let me tell you, got all the dates. I was actually fairly good for a while. I had an uncle who taught me who actually had an international master rating. He was the president of the chess club of Ford Motor Company, and he had an FIDE rating, and it was 2,200.
Okay.
You know, so that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I poked a hole in my shirt. Yeah.
You castle a lot. You unless you're doing something very specific, castling is always part of the game. You know,
Yeah.
because you need it to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, Webster, if you want to play Risk but enjoy it, Small World. Say Small World is a Risk concept game, but it's got so much more flavor and strategy and variance to it. Again, that's another one that you can see getting played on the tabletop series from Will Wheaton. You know, and they do a really good job of explaining it, and it is. Everybody wants to. Well, there's the accountant orcs, and then there's the undead elves. There's this random combination of trait and race, and then you play one nation after another after another. Yeah.
All right, because it's 9:28 here.
It is true.
And I can smell dinner downstairs.
What you smell, and this is just for Toxic here, what you smell is Moroccan chicken.
Yes, it smells very, very good.
Huge amounts of garlic and apricots, couscous, and various assorted and sundry North African spices that we get at the Ethiopian market.
So it'd be very, very good. So I want to thank you all for showing up for the first stream of the year. We had all-time high.
I think we peaked at about 76 actual
In the chat.
and I saw 105 briefly, 105, 106 on the including lurkers.
Yes.
Lurkers, come join us.
Right.
Join us.
Our current goal right now, and not quite certain I'm working out what I want to exactly do, but if we can get 100 people in the chat, we will do something.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
So we'll figure something out, but we need to get to 100. Now, the numbers have been going up in the chat every stream, so if you've enjoyed this, tell your friends about it. We do it every other Saturday, starting at 5:30 Pacific, run until 9:30. And I just want to thank. Oh no, we hit 100, but that was just in the general. That wasn't people actually in the chat.
That include people who are watching, but who were not, they didn't have a user,
Right.
They were just watching the stream.
Right. So I want to thank everybody who showed up tonight. I want to thank all my patrons from Patreon, who, because of their support every month, they're a big thing to help pay the bills and let me keep doing what I'm doing. If you've enjoyed this tonight and you think you might want to see me do more of this, $1 a month does make a big difference. I mean, you might think, hey, what's a buck going to do for you, Baron? Well, if everybody on DeviantArt gave me $1, my life would be amazing.
Mo better.
Mo better.
All right, folks.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Follow Baron on Twitter where he has, all his announcement-y type stuff. Go to Baron's thing on Patreon.
And next week there'll be new artwork going up in the Smudge Marks and Engleworks eShop. Probably the usual time, 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. Pacific. I'll be making postings on Twitter and on DeviantArt on what's going to be going up.
All righty. See you.
Good night.